Well, you've got one heck of a nerve.
Oh my God! The government is here! Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
Hello, peasants. Want to kill all humans?
What's there, dude?
We'd like some money.
Yeah, money.
Money is cool.
Onto a thing. 10-6-9er, we got whores in the city. We need backup now. Don't be so dang literal.
Hey, we're live on YouTube, everybody. I can't see the chat because I'm in my living room. But Ben, do you watching the chat?
Yeah,
tonight?
I am in the chat tonight. So yes, by all means,
Great.
drop
Great.
in.
Because as you can see, we got a full house here. Everybody's in the living room today.
We're all on the big comfy couch right
Yeah.
now. No relation to the show.
No relation to the show.
It didn't take us long at all.
But yeah, normally we have we have Leo, who is normally on our show, who left the show,
Yeah,
sadly, and we normally have Nicole, who's normal host, who is now either currently on her way to Rhode Island or getting ready to go to Rhode Island to go film her movie this weekend. So she's gone. But I was luckily able to bring back. We got Chili Beans again here on the couch.
Chili beans. I love that you brought back the two people of color on your podcast. You replaced them with two white guys.
That's the story of this show. What Chili Beans, man? It's great to have you on again. It's been a while.
It's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure. Last time we watched Chirpy and
Legendary.
absolutely fantastic cartoon, and then we were watching. Oh, can I say what we watched already?
We'll get to it in a second. Ben does the transition.
I get
Ben
to
does
do the
transition.
transitions now.
Just this joke will make more sense later on. James has had me on the most sexually charged episodes of Totally Toonular. I don't know if I should be taking this as like a sign.
Before we even get into this weekend, because all of us had a fucking weekend this past weekend. But Kyle, welcome to the show. This is
Thank you,
Kyle
man.
Davis
Thanks for
hanging
having
out
me.
with us. Trauma. We met at a Trauma event a couple of years ago. Friends for a while. Now we just talked about Chirpy. Have you ever seen Chirpy?
I've never seen Chirpy, no.
No, well, I got something to send you later because it might
Let's
be
go.
the greatest.
The uninitiated.
Yeah, it's the greatest probably animated short film ever
In
made.
in the
ever.
history of history, it is arguably the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. Yeah, not
Ooh.
even playing.
Yeah, it's incredible. But Kyle,
I'm at half chub already, man.
Bro, that's high praise
Well,
because I watch some bizarre stuff. Just look out for the chat later. Mountains of pornography will come through that.
Oh, I'm excited. Does any of it have to do with clowns by any chance?
I mean, I can.
We'll get into the clown porn too in a bit. But yeah, tell us about yourself, Kyle. I mean, I've known you for a minute, but I don't really know you. And you almost were on this show once that didn't work out, and we've been trying to plan it out. And here we go, we planned it last minute rather than months in advance.
Right. That's generally how I do things better anyway, is just somebody has to hit me up at the absolute last minute, and I'll look around the room that I'm in, and I'll be like, fuck it, let's do it. And then I'll drive to Brooklyn and sit on a couch with a bunch of men.
From Long Island, fellas.
Yep,
So,
Long Island. Yes.
Nicole was here. She's also from Long Island.
Okay.
Where are you from, Long Island?
I'm in Westbury right now.
Okay, I was from Comac, Suffolk County. Is that is that close? I don't
It's
even.
generally close if you have a car, yeah.
You have a car. I mean, that's anywhere in Long Island. But tell me about yourself, Kyle. Like, so you've done. I mean, you do all these horror podcasts.
Yes, I have a
big
horror
friend.
podcast with my fiance now.
Ooh, fiance.
Yeah, man. We actually, for the proposal, side story real quick, I hired 2 violinists to arrange their own version of the Cannibal Holocaust theme song. So
That's awesome.
Yes, but yeah, we're big horror people.
You should
we
have
have a horror
got
pod-
you should have got a couple of pianists.
Yeah,
The pianist.
could have gotten some pianists.
There's a lot of pianists on the couch. Sorry.
There's a lot of pianists on the
And
couch.
how? Yes.
What's your horror podcast called?
It's called Top Cult, Top KVLT, and it's all visual as well, so it's all on YouTube. And it's just me and her editing the fucking thing, so it takes forever for us to get stuff out. But
I feel you. Just trust me. This is all us. You know, there ain't no studio behind us. Except today, we're actually being live streamed by John Bergio. So thanks for helping out, John Bergio in the booth.
Everyone
Thank you,
on
John.
TV. Send John Bergio a thank you right now. Everybody.
So Kyle, then you also told me when we first met that you were a wrestler,
yep, a wrestler.
which was awesome because I'm a huge wrestling mark.
Yep,
How long did you wrestle for?
I wrestled for like 6 years. I started at WW Johnny Rods' school. My first gimmick, I was Amish.
You were Amish.
I was Cousin Kyle. Yes.
Cousin Kyle.
Yeah.
Ben's got something to say.
This is
Ben, yes.
this is mind blowing. So like you were Amish, like fresh from the farm. Were you on like Rumspringa?
Fresh from the farm.
Like what's the rest
You
of the
on
gimmick?
Rumspringa?
No, we still had our good Christian values. Yeah.
Did you go like full gimmick? Did you go like no buttons on the shirt, no zippers, no nada, or like what? How?
It was a shitty shirt and some buttons definitely came off. So
Okay.
I got speared out of my dress shoes though.
Oh, that's a McFoley shit right there.
Exactly.
Was it deathmatch stuff too?
No, the little foray into deathmatch stuff was later.
No,
Yeah.
shit. What kind of deathmatch shit did you do?
So all right, so from there I wrestled for FTW, and then I just did some like unsanctioned terrible shit that I shouldn't have, and landed on my head a lot.
Oh,
and
damn.
yeah,
Story
fun.
of an indie wrestler.
Exactly right.
Story of an indie wrestler landing on your head that you didn't mean to.
Yeah, take 3 uncalled power bombs on the back of my fucking dome. Yeah.
Damn, dude. I'm sure it wasn't in the ring either.
2 of those were. Yeah.
Damn.
One absolutely was not.
But then you were telling me you're a wrestler, but then you also you've done stunt choreography
Yes.
before. And I was like, man, that's sick. I don't know anyone who does it. You know, one of these days we'll link up and we'll do it again. And then that was like 2019. Now here we are 4 years later.
Hey, you're missing a giant chunk of this story also. You had your screening as well.
Oh,
for
that's
Meat is
right. You
Murder.
played Meat is Murder for me on your birthday.
Yep. We had an event that we ran for my birthday. It was like mid-pandemic, right?
Yeah, it was like mid-pandemic. It was like kind of the first like screening of Meat is Murder that was not, because I had a couple that did like online digital screenings, and you were like, oh, we're gonna do an actual screening in Brooklyn.
Exactly. Well, we
Yeah.
wanted to do a like kind of a trauma night where we were going to do we wanted to do a screening because they hadn't done any yet of Shakespeare Shitstorm. Still have
Kind of.
next Top Cult show. Here we go. But yeah, we want to do Shakespeare Shitstorm, and we also talked to the guys at Astron 6. So we also wanted to do that and Father's Day as a double feature.
Hell yeah.
And then run Your Meat is Murder in between it.
Yeah. But then we
And-
ended up playing what? It was the Blob?
It was
No,
the-
the Stuff.
And that was the stuff, and God, fuck me. What else did we play?
It was an alien movie too, right? It was a double alien.
Was it
feature.
Extra?
Extra?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Ben,
Were
you
you
know
there?
Extra?
What about Mutant?
Yeah, John was there.
Dude,
John
hell
was
yeah,
there.
man. Oh, I'm so glad, dude.
Ben, do you know what? Have you seen Extra?
extra? I'm gonna have to look it up, guys. Honestly, I'm old and
Seen the
I
stuff?
forget. I love the stuff. What are you talking about?
The stuff is
Stuff
fantastic.
like a classic, and I'm sure Extra is too. But let me see. I apologize for my dogs, everybody. It's that kind of night.
Never apologize for your
They're
dogs.
like our fifth co-host at this
They
point.
really
I
are.
love it.
All they do is fucking just yip and yap. But no, okay, so it was Extra and not. I was about. Oh, no, guys, I know this movie. Yeah,
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
yeah.
We also had a giant Tusk cake
Yes, the Tusk
because I
cake.
happen to be quite fond of Tusk.
Bro, who are you? Like, honest to God.
Wait, can I drop Trow on the screen?
Yeah, if you want to drop trout,
Yeah,
because
hold
Ben,
on.
we are live on YouTube, so please cover your balls.
Yeah, dude. I got
But
underwear.
Ben, you should see these tattoos.
Hold on, man.
actually.
Like,
So normally, yeah, for the people who are listening on Spotify currently, Kyle's dropping his trap to show off these two awesome tattoos. I'm waiting to say what they were until Ben can see it. But
yeah.
remember, also
Hold
cover the
it- yeah,
balls.
keep your.
Gotta keep the balls covered. Here we go.
Nice.
Now we got
Toxic Avenger here.
you got Toxic Avenger,
And Tusk.
and they got little Mr. Tusk right there. And I remember the first time I met you, where there was a signing with Lloyd, and you immediately dropped trout in front of Lloyd, and we're like, "Look at my Toxic Avenger tattoo."
Yeah, and Lloyd got down there.
Yeah, of course he did.
That's what he does. That's the photo op.
He
It's-
definitely got down there and got like the biggest sniff of like,
Of man
He's
meat.
like,
Oh, yeah.
you're a wrestler.
That's what keeps him young.
You wrestle, huh? You got some sweat down here.
You're in a movie. You want to be in a movie?
But yeah, you're nice enough to play Meet as Murder.
Of course.
I really appreciate it because I love that. My whole goal of making it was just play it everywhere. Just
Yeah,
always be just like a filler.
everyone loved it too.
I'm glad that people seem to love it. It's just something I whipped together out of film school. No real thought behind it. So I'm glad people like it. And
Yeah, it's 12 stars.
it's lived on. But yeah, so you helped us out with that, and you said, "Hey, if you ever need stunts, hit me up, whatever."
Yeah.
And it's been a while, and then this all started with me and Reeves. We went to go see John Wick 4, and we fucking loved it. Didn't stop thinking about it.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen John Wick 4?
I still haven't seen 4 yet.
Oh, dude, I have the
I know.
Blu-ray. I'll let you can borrow it.
Please, yeah,
It's
awesome.
incredible.
I'll lend you clown porn.
3 hours. We'll get to the clown porn for sure. So yeah, long story short, me and Reeves were like, what if there's Dwayne Wick? And he has like goons come through and steal his art, and then he's got to go and kill them. And we just kept going back and forth. And then it was one of those stories that I couldn't get out of my head. And I was like, if I can write it in a day, like we'll make it. And then like I did it. Like it just happened so fast, and then it just kept rolling. And then I hit you up pretty much immediately after I wrote the script. I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you do stunts, right? Would you still be down?" And you've never met Dwayne before this, right?
No, never.
So I mean, how
I
amazing
didn't know
is
about the
Dwayne?
legacy.
Yeah.
The legend of Dwayne, yes.
Is he in the chat yet, Ben? So Dwayne usually pops in by
He's
now.
not in the chat yet, but I guarantee you he's coming, man.
Yeah, let us
Hell
know
yeah.
when Dwayne pops in the chat. So you met the legend that is the Whiplash Maniac, Dwayne Steeler.
What a name. Fuck. The Whiplash Maniac. I love it.
And there's so much of Dwayne you can have, but I mean, this was his first action movie. I mean, what was your? And you came down, man. We did 3 rehearsals.
Yep.
Like at my mom's house, and what was your experience going through all those?
That was great. I mean, dude, everybody was professional. Everybody was like ready to fucking go on set, willing to learn,
Yeah.
And everybody just had a ball. I had a blast. It was great organizing everything and doing our fucking our morning stretches and everything
That we
first.
didn't do when we were shooting.
Not at all. I was thinking about that as we were shooting. I
The
was
one
like,
day it mattered the most.
Yeah,
we
I
were
know.
like, no, skip the
It probably
stretches.
maybe would have helped Dwayne not take so many breaks. But,
maybe.
I think also being in like the world's hottest basement would have probably
Yeah.
helped Dwayne not take so
the
many
world's
breaks.
hottest basement.
Also,
And-
thank you, Sebi, for if you're watching this. Please
Yes.
let us use your basement again.
yes, thank
'Cause
you,
it was great.
Sebi,
Sebi was
Sebastian Martinez.
Hell yeah.
So we get to this point of making this thing, and then man, it's been a crazy. We just got off it. It's been a crazy weekend. We had Derek and Joe flying in from Missouri. Ben got to play your part as Ben Johnson Goon.
I love it. I
Awesome.
love it. Joe Duff got to play Ben Johnson.
Yeah. So Kyle, you're now meeting the guy that I was playing in all the rehearsals, and that Joe Duff was ended up playing.
Okay.
This was the guy who's gonna come down and be like,
Tremendous.
no, don't. I helped you get in, and Dwayne says, I lied.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shoot to.
Unfortunately, I couldn't make this trip. We've got a screening that we're planning, and then we have another trip coming up in September. And apparently, everybody else just has these schedules where they can just fuck off and do whatever they want to. But some of us have to stick around home.
Unemployment.
Right.
It's called-
It's called a lot of part-time jobs.
I mean, truly.
And you know what's really annoying is though is that part of the reason why I started this too is because I wasn't working. I was like, oh, I got all this free time, and then immediately I set this weekend, and then that's when everyone kept hitting me up. Hey, can you work? I think so many people had to bail. Even like I was on a whole shoot, and I won't say names just because whatever. But I was on a whole shoot, and half the crew had to leave that shoot to go work on this Steeler movie over the weekend. So they had to get a different crew to film the movie because we were hanging out with Dwayne all day.
That's amazing.
But dude, man, the fight scenes came out so awesome. Like I've been watching back the footage now. I mean, Dwayne was such a fucking champ. And
He really was.
What really makes me happy is that we in Bloodstab we had this set dressing that we had all these dildos from Trauma that were left over from Shitstorm, and we were like, let's use these dildos in Bloodstab in the bathroom scene, and then it just like as the set dressing happened, they just never landed in the scene ever. There's no dildos in the movie,
Which is such a crime.
It
man.
is such a crime. And then, you know, we've had this dildo in our apartment for forever since then. And now, finally, after 4 years,
I
four
got
and a half
so
years,
giddy.
like we finally bring the dildo on set and we finally use it in a way that honors in respect of what this dildo is by
Hell
slapping you in the face. Dwayne Steeler gets to slap you in the face with this giant double-ended dildo.
Yep. I got so excited when I locked eyes with that thing, and I'm like, I started thinking of like 3 or 4 different ideas. They had to like calm me down. They're like, we used the dildo enough. And I was like, all right, fine.
Because it's your idea to put it in because you were like, we
I
got to
think we
use
cut
this.
it off right when you were like, it would be really funny if I put it on my ass. And that's when we were like, all right, we got to move on.
And it comes out my mouth.
Yeah, we were already behind at that point. So
I'm just gonna say this. Like I agree with you, Kyle. How can you keep a dildo around, have it available, have it on set, just to have it like vaguely off screen? Like you could move it in, like you could move it in like
It's
18 inches, you know, and then it's fully visible.
these are like some quality dildos. These are from our
thick.
buddies over at Bad Dragon. They're the ones who donate everything
Hell
to
yeah.
Shitstorm. Yeah, so these are like top shelf dildos, the real shit.
I can confirm it hurt a lot.
I can confirm it hurt a lot because I used it after we were wrapped.
But yeah, you were like, we have to use it. And then so we figured it out in the choreography. And then we're going to bring it back, which I wish we did bring it back because we kind of set it up a little bit.
Me too.
But
That
then
idea
it
was great.
You know, man, and this is the one thing I learned most about filming because I've never done action before.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, when you look at 4 pages, you're like, oh, man, this isn't like that bad. It can't like really take that long to shoot.
Right.
And then fucking, man, actions, that was like one of the hardest things to figure out how to shoot.
Yeah, for sure.
I've ever done. But we did it though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We did some awesome shit. You know, I don't want to spoil all the spots, but we
No,
did
not at
so
all.
many great spots. A lot of apple juice, a lot of cheeseburgers.
I would say with that, like not going back to the dildo, I feel like you teased the sequel.
Ooh,
You
there we
teased
go.
like Steeler Wick 2, you know?
There's a little teaser in there.
There's a little, there's some unfinished dildo business in Steeler Wick.
Well, the after credit scenes just a zoom in on that dildo, like to the Wick music.
What was that video game? The one where you weren't you like some kid at like a boarding school or whatever, and you could run around with like a big purple.
Oh,
Was it
Bully?
Huh?
Bully?
Bully. Didn't he have like a purple dildo he smacked people with? Was that?
You're thinking of
That I don't
Saints Row.
remember.
Saints-
You're thinking of Saints Row was the game at the. Yeah,
Saints Row
similar
rules.
company. Rockstar did Bully,
Got it.
and yeah, the purple
Yeah.
Saints Row.
So yeah, so we'll say
And
we
then
got.
something with a V did Saints Row, right?
Yes, yep,
Yeah.
that was it too.
So yeah, we got dildos, we got barbecue skewers, we got
Oh yeah.
guns, we got swords, we got Buff Connor. It's all there. Every bit of it.
Fucking the cleaner Connor looking jacked. Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably like the sexiest movie we ever made.
So
Purely because of Connor.
And the basement.
And the oh
so
my God.
much sweat.
So, like, his basement had no air conditioning, but the upstairs did. So he'd go upstairs to pick up Dwayne. He'd be like, all right, Dwayne, time to come down. And then, like, the second that your foot hit the top stair, a wave
wave of
of
heat.
fucking Not even
Yeah.
just heat, like the smell of fucking 9 dudes sweating their balls off
And the ironic part is, I purposely wrote this script and that scene with little to no dialogue, with the idea of like we can keep an AC running the entire time, so no one has to be hot. And then of course the basement doesn't have AC.
Hey, guys,
That's a good lesson in filmmaking. Anytime you plan for something, it's not going to happen.
real quick to let everybody know, we got the man himself in the chat.
Himself,
Dwayne.
Dwayne Steeler.
Whiplash
Oh, man.
maniac.
Action superstar himself, man. This guy
Hell
kicked
yeah.
so much ass. He did some awesome stunts himself. Dwayne himself does his own stunts.
Yes.
So that's the thing, guys. I'll moderate a chat. Like, if anybody's got any questions, let's ask. Like,
Beautiful.
Well, first, how you feeling, Dwayne, out there in the chat? You feeling good? Do you feel okay? Anything sore? Anything hurting?
these are the biggest questions, right? These are the biggest questions. Anything hurt? What was the biggest stunt? Like, how do you feel the shoot went? You know what I mean? Like, this is what.
What's the biggest stunt?
Wait, he won't reveal the biggest stunt unless Dwayne.
Well, yeah,
Right.
but I
Okay,
mean,
so-
I guess what was the one thing that sort of took it out of him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
But it was an intense weekend. Learned a lot. I mean, John Brennan came through with an awesome, cool cameo. So hanging out with him for a day is always super fun. So yeah, man, intense weekend, dude. But
Oh yeah.
and thank you, Kyle, for dealing with this
Absolutely,
for as long
man.
as you did. And Chili Beans on set, because we really didn't run into a lot of like hard issues on set. Like there wasn't a lot of shit that was going wrong, except for the fucking lunch. That because Uber decided to let's just cancel fucking lunch for no reason.
Yeah, don't ever use Uber Eats if you are planning a shoot and feeding a bunch of people because they will immediately drop the ball as soon as you need it the most.
I mean, luckily Dwayne got his cheeseburger, so that's great.
That was actually, we discussed after wrap that was my credit was going to be lunch crap, right? Like lunch expert or something like
Nice.
that. It was like
lunch savior.
lunch coordinator is what it was going to be, lunch coordinator, which is actually similar to most of my credits on Trauma films. I don't really actually do a lot for them. I mostly just get the lunch.
so
But yeah, you saved lunch, which was great.
James came down for Curse of the Weird Year, right? And James comes down. He comes down a couple of days early with Connor, and immediately from the time that he showed up until the time that he left, we had continued challenges with lunch. Like,
People just don't give me lunch for some reason.
so we go to this place and we sit down, we order. It's me, James, Connor. We sit down, we order. We wait like 20 minutes. Okay, maybe they're busy. We start looking around. Everybody who's come in after us is starting to get their food, or they already have their food, or they're already halfway fucking done with their food. So we just sit there and we keep waiting, and we wait. Another 20 minutes go by, and we're like, what in the fuck is going on?
Other people are getting their food
Dude,
that came after. us.
That came after us. People have gotten up, they've left, they've come back. They forgot some shit at the table, picked that back up, looked at us like we're still a bunch of chumps, don't even have water yet. Absolutely ridiculous. I blame James. All of your food challenges.
Yeah, so people do not like giving me lunch. But other than that, man, we did it. It was like a little bit long days, but the longest we went was 13 hours. So, that's pretty good for everything that we shot. So yeah, I don't know, Ben, you got any questions? I mean, you said you couldn't make it. You're almost there.
So here's what we got. Dwayne, we reached out. We asked him a couple of questions. Here's what he says. He says it was all days on the weekend. It was hot and a bunch of hard work. He said he did it one time, a stunt. One time. It was a little bit hard. But he says, it was sort of his fault. But you know what? That's the mark of a pro. I heard the story. We own our challenges. We get up. We do it again. Right. And then Dwayne says, he says after that he'll never do stunts again. He'll never do stunts
Listen,
again.
it looks badass.
I'll go on record saying right now it was 100% not Dwayne's fault.
There you go, Dwayne. I hope you hear that in the chat. That's not you. We'll blame camera because he's not sitting on the couch. Like, and I wasn't there, so I can say it.
That shot is going to be in the movie.
Yep.
It's going to be badass, and I'm telling you, people are going to yell when they see it.
I'm like, and none of you that I know Garrett, I know James, Kyle, we've met this evening. None of you guys are really like hype guys. Do you know what I mean? You're not sitting there like pumping people's peckers up with a bunch of nonsense. You're like, to hear you guys talk about this, to be like,
Pegs up, but that's more for like rent money that I need when I'm a little short coming from trauma. That's a different scenario, but yeah.
you guys are like, no, genuinely, it looks good, it looks cool. Wouldn't say it if it didn't. Cannot wait for
Yeah. And then I'll close off by saying, it's like this past couple of months since even this year, I've just, been on all these kind of shitty ass shoots, unemployment, life has sucked. So it's like, let's go back to the basics. Like we made Bloodstab and just go back to making a movie with Dwayne where we could also make him a fucking superstar and a badass action hero. And I think at least when we finally get it together, at least I hope it totally comes off that way.
100% will. I know for a fact.
So yeah, but that's what we've done, Ben Johnson.
I've done.
How dare we?
I mean, clearly not as exciting as this. Not as exciting as this at all. Was working at the at Bonding on Saturday, so in the office with Pops, and then Sunday was my 20. Well, all right. I've been with my wife for 20 years. So me and Jen have been together 20 years. This was our 11th wedding anniversary, I think. I think it was our 11th.
Oh, congratulations.
Congrats.
I get it flipped around is the problem, right? Like I can't remember if we were together 11 years and have been married 9, or if we were together 9 years and have been married 11.
I'm glad you're saying that on air, so hopefully she doesn't hear.
No, she doesn't. That's the thing. Like,
Outed yourself.
Or if you've been together since 9/11.
Since man, let me tell you, 3 years before. But weirdly, 9/11 does play into our relationship a lot.
Same.
Like,
Yeah, who's honestly at this point? Like, if your relationship isn't centered around 9/11, like, what are you even doing anymore?
I love that you said that because my woman's birthday is 9/11 and our anniversary is 9/11, and I absolutely planned that.
Wait, that's about so like. Why would you have your anniversary the same day as her birthday?
No,
Because it's
You'll
9/11.
never
bro,
forget.
yeah, never forget. Does every card you give her say, "I'll never forget"?
There is
I will
9/11
never
joke
forget,
in every
yeah.
card.
So dig.
You drive me plane crazy.
That's all of them, right? That's whatever. I was about to go a very dark road. Something about jumping out of a window, but yeah, we'll save that.
Yeah. Not against.
But like,
Break the towers around my heart.
Jet fuel can't melt my love for you.
There you go.
it was thermite.
So how does 9/11 play into your relationship?
No, nowhere near like this at all. We listen to Harmontown. We're big Harmontown people.
You're my guy now.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Harmontown.
It is,
I used to go all the time.
dude, same. When they would come up to Portland, we lived in Oregon, right? So whenever they would take a little tour up the West Coast and hit the comedy things, always there.
Yeah.
Always.
I miss it so. Oh, it was the best.
I to this day would still fuck Jeff Brian Davis in a heartbeat.
Yo, I spent just like a full night with him in a parking lot with him teaching me how to use a bullwhip.
I fucking love that. So I got we went to work on a shoot, me and Derek in Hollywood, and one night I went out and about because I needed to do some exploring, and I wound up at the drawing room, and it was karaoke night. And the only reason I went to the drawing room was because they always talked about it on Harmontown. And I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I ran into Jeff or Dan or somebody there? It's right before the final shows in 2019. It's like right before. And sure as shit, karaoke night, fucking in saunters Jeff B. Davis. And I about shit my pants. I was called up to do karaoke. It was my turn. I did Three Little Pigs because it's what I always do.
Hell yeah.
Jeff Davis heard me do Three Little Pigs, and then he did. It was he did some Waylon Jennings, and I want to say it was Luckenbach, Texas, but I could be wrong. Regardless, I was drinking a lot. Hold on. But it was amazing. Met him afterwards. Big hugs. Super friendly guy. Amazing. You'll hear me in an episode, I think from like 2016, when they're at Bridgetown Comedy Fest. They're doing improv, and they ask for a suggestion from the audience, and I yell out banjo. That's it.
Nice.
This is my
But you gave him a hug, did you? Did you
Your
get to hug him?
Harmontown claim to
Yeah.
fame.
But did you get to hug him?
Oh no, I totally got to hug him. I got to hug him at the bar, at the drawing room in 2019, right before they ended. Jen got spit on 2 or 3 years before. She went to Harmon tour. I didn't get a chance to go to that show in Portland, and she got spit on by Dan when he was rapping around the stage.
Nice. Yes.
So how does this relate to 9/11
They
and
call
your
it out on the
relationship?
show constantly. They always call it out.
No.
on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thing to scream out 9/11.
I have a picture of Dan Harmon and I cuddling sloshed at a bar.
Oh my God! Listen,
Hang out with Dan Harmon?
A lot, yeah. When you would go to Harmontown, he would have his podcast, and afterwards he'd tell you what bar
Where
he's
would
going
you go
to.
see Harmontown, New York?
New York, and then I went to LA a few times also.
Oh shit, I'm a little jealous, man.
amazing,
So I'll pull up a picture.
amazing.
Damn.
That
Yeah, and then I get jealous because I love Harmontown, and the fact. So you went to it was like a comic book shop, right? They did in L.A. Like there was like a back of like a comic book shop. Like that looks. That's what I wish we can do in this show. Just own like a little bit of the back of a comic book shop and just get wasted with a bunch of strangers.
that
You know, that's the
that's the ultimate goal. We have one shot at it. If
and make money off it.
oh yeah, there's that too. There's that too. Real quick.
But
Just tuning in from the chat. Reeves has joined us now.
hey, Reeves, the other
Hey.
goon.
The other goon.
The other yeah, but,
and
and I gotta say too, just the
Reeves
side-
was a consummate professional also.
consummate professional who only speaks Spanish for the entire movie. He doesn't say any word of English. And I gotta say too, just the sidetrack because I don't have much time to edit. Oh, look at that! It is Kyle and Dan Harmon. I don't know if you can show it towards the camera if you want to show it.
Yeah.
Here it is. For those who are listening right now, there's a photo of Kyle cuddling up with Dan Harmon.
that's
They'll go.
that's amazing. Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
But there we go. Incredible. But to talk about Reeves too for a sec, the opening shot, and actually, no, I'm gonna talk about. I didn't even get to talk about each goon for a minute. 'Cause Reeves was amazing, right? I set up this perfect little goon tribe here, this like gang. You got Reeves.
Sorry.
That's our song.
So we
in the
got
basement.
you, Kyle, who is our master stunt coordinator.
Yes.
Wrestler's gonna do some fun, crazy shit. Then we got my friend Andrew Corvey from Long Island. I wish Nicole was here because Nicole knows him, and very good friends. But he's a jiu-jitsu fighter, like legit fighter, and we got him in there to make us look cool, make us look a little legit. Then we get Reeves. Reeves is our bump guy,
Straight
and
up.
who takes some nice, cool ass bumps, and even throws some dope punches too.
Definitely.
And he's got his nice little wardrobe too. And then Connor's, the muscle, the sexy leader of them all. But the opening shot, what's up, Ben?
No, nothing. I'm just literally like over here. Connor is the sexy leader. I love it.
And another
Do you want
side
to keep
note-
Reeves' his attire under
No, I can
wraps?
talk about it because
Okay.
Ben's
I
seen
know
it. It's
exactly what it is. Yeah.
But when I
The Orange
had to
Cassidy, yeah.
mail stuff to Connor through Amazon, and I made because you can write the name or whatever, right? And I wrote the name delivered to Sexy Connor, so you got it in the mail, and it's on the label. It said Sexy Connor. But and Reeves' attire is a beautiful T-shirt. If anyone knows who Orange Cassidy is, please Google and look it up. So we made this perfect Infinite Reeves T-shirt of him in like constant Orange Cassidy pose that goes on for forever, and it's pretty amazing. And then there's the opening shot where all you goons are, and this the guy wearing the Big Dan shirt, Mr. Ben Johnson. This is the guy who's wearing our sponsor.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
So here is these guys walking through. Connor's in leather. Reeves is in his Orange Cassidy getup. This dude's in a American cowboy hat and a Big Dan t-shirt. And then my friend Andrew Corvey's in his Kumite champion shirt with the fedora and like a Hawaiian shirt, walking towards Dwayne in the distance while he draws. It's beautiful. It's like the weirdest Reservoir Dogs walk you'll ever see in your life.
It's anime Reservoir Dogs.
Yes,
yeah.
it's anime Reservoir Dogs. That's the best way to describe it.
I mean, in all honesty, guys, it sounds very heavy metal. It sounds very heavy metal 2000. And
That's the transition there.
Is that the swap?
that's where we're taking it, boys. We've been here for a hot minute.
How could it not
We
be?
have a cartoon we have to
Yes,
talk about.
and
Can you imagine
because-
we were all just like, anyway, about Steeler Way.
we've done it. There's been plenty of episodes where we have blown past transitions.
Yeah.
Like totally.
Not only blown past them, but recognized them, seen them, accepted them, and then talked 5
And
minutes
then-
about a cartoon, and then said, "Fuck it, other things are more important."
Well, definitely because of this movie. Because
Yes.
man, I fucking love heavy metal.
Yeah.
Love that movie. I mean, being you, Ben, we've talked about it a ton of different times. Even bringing back to when we did Bergio's movie. One thing I learned in college, where we had the glowing green rock, and we were like, "Oh, it's the
It's
Lochnar."
Lochnar. Yeah. Dude, I
But-
want to say
Damn, this movie fucking blows. Fucking blows. But
Not fun at all.
Oh, so what were you saying, Ben?
no, to a point to where, and I mean, you've told tale on yourself, so stop me or cut it out afterwards. But James calls me up one night.
Not like live or nothing.
Yeah, right.
I can't remember if it was the first time you'd watched it or if it was like a repeat viewing, but you were on a head full and you were like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was definitely not the first
Okay,
time,
okay.
but definitely a second reviewing mid-COVID. and I remember because I was a little in a certain kind of headspace at the time, and I remember back behind us where Kyle is. That's where our plug was. So I had a Juul charger there, and I was waiting for my Juul to turn green. So like I'm like watching this movie, and I'm also looking at my Juul. Like I was like, I need my Lochnar. I need the Lochnar.
Oh, that rules.
Absolutely ridiculous. And he calls me up and he's telling me this whole thing. And I was like, yes, that's what this movie does to people.
But it's so good, man. You know, because before we shit all over Heavy Metal 2000, I'm actually what before I even get into. No, I'll talk about heavy metal first because man, the first heavy metal is it's a masterpiece. I mean, it really is. Like the animation, the style, the fucking humor, the gore. I mean, the sex. It's got literally everything.
Yeah.
Like all of it.
All in the right places too.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, the comedic timing is there, and it's structured really well. Like it being an anthology of sorts. You know.
Like with the fucking robots doing coke. Like what's better than that?
I mean, so, and that's the thing with the original is the bar is so high, and it's so beloved at this point.
When's the first time you watched it, Ben?
What, the first heavy metal?
Yeah.
God, dude, I don't know, like 15, 16, something like that. Like I picked it up at a video
Just sneak
store.
it from the video store. Yeah, I was like, you just sneak rent it. Did you hide it in your grill in the backyard like your other VHS tapes?
At that point, I was a little bit older, so no, not so much. That was more like when I was like 10, 12, like hitting the horror movies and like Porky's and shit like that. Yeah. When I was coming up.
But do you have any memories of watching it for the first time?
Not so much for the first time. It became one of those things that was like, I guess, sort of like layered into who you are, who you kind of become from like the first time you see it. It's a thing you end up watching at least once a year, once every 2 years. You put it back in.
Yeah, I think I've watched it like once every like 2 years, pretty much,
Hell yeah.
since I've seen it.
And it's one of those things that you literally, it's like, oh, I haven't watched through this recently, but I love it. And every single time I've seen it, it's been amazing. So why not? Like, let's fucking lock ourselves in, you know? And from the first
Sorry, go.
from the first beats of the movie to the bitter end, it is perfect. It's a great movie.
Yeah, Kyle, what's your intro to heavy metal?
I was gonna say, like, when you're growing up, or at least when I was, poster, and you'd be like, "That's adult stuff.
Yeah.
I can't wait to grow up and see that." You know, like it kind of like held that over you, and like there was like some like mysticism about it almost, and I was like really excited to finally see it, and so I was rewatching it today to compare it to what the fuck I just watched with Heavy Metal 2000, which I had never seen before.
Neither have I.
And goddamn, dude, I was explaining before. I feel like best way to put it is 2000 feels like it was made by the creator of heavy metal's younger brother, who knows that there needs to be tits and there needs to be comedy, but doesn't know where to put them or how to place them. You know?
Yeah, there's so much we can trash about it. With Chili Beans, what's your experience with heavy metal?
You know, I hate that I went last because I really don't have that exciting of a story of it.
Make one up.
Yeah, right. Make one up on the spot. I had this buddy and he was like, "Hey, you want to do something cool?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, why not?" You know, this is the same guy who I think showed me Class of Nukem High first. Like I was like, "Oh, that was a good movie."
So you got a good streak going. You're like, I can trust this guy.
Shout out to David if you ever see this. You know, David, thank you for
David.
setting me on this course. And he was like, "Oh, he did have it in like a secret spot." He was like, "Oh, it was like behind." He had like all of his tapes and like DVDs on the dresser. And then, like, behind the rack, he, like, pulled out the heavy metal, like, DVD.
Nice.
So it, like, wasn't showing on there. And I was like, oh, what's this? And then we watched it, and I was like, holy shit. This is awesome.
No, it's, like, really fucking awesome. So the art style is just so unique. Like, it looks like that magazine or that comic book, like, straight up, like, just on screen.
Yeah.
In the best way possible. And that's still, what was that, Ben? 81?
Yeah, 81.
So, like, there's no digital to it. So, like, every frame of that is fucking hand-drawn.
Yep.
Filmed, and just like, and you watch it and you're like, I can't believe they must have spent like a full year just drawing everything of that movie. And if I'm correct, maybe Ben, you can correct me. The art was done by like a metal album cover artist, right?
Oh, the original. And now you got me looking.
I know that they like people who worked on the magazine.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people who did cartoons for the magazine also did the movie, which I think is like a really nice touch.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's like based off of heavy metal like album covers or vice versa, you know, but still every frame of that movie looks like a fucking album cover.
Yeah.
And it's fucking beautiful. All the space stuff. There's like the one
with the car floating down, like the hot
right
car. Yeah. Yeah.
Even like the smiley face fucking spaceship and like even the beginning that's like that the Fifth Element totally ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
Like the taxi driver, like looks all that's futuristic New York stuff is amazing.
Yep.
Because it's like, and what I love most about that New York stuff is that it's 70s New York, but like in the future.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
Like,
is actually
nothing's
funny
changed.
enough coming back around. Like now we're back in 70s New York,
Like,
but
I
now we
love
like
that,
Apple
like,
Pay for
New
everything.
York, like the fact that New York will advance as a city, but still be just as dirty and
The
mean.
shittiest crime-ridden place on planet Earth.
Where we don't go on the subway anymore.
Exactly.
But we still
The
advance.
subway's in
as
the
a
sky
city.
now, but you're still gonna get robbed on it.
So real quick, to answer the question, there are a ton of different art directors. There's a ton of different folks involved throughout the film. Bernie Wrightson, actually from Swamp Thing fame, was one of the writers. On Captain Stern. On Captain Stern, that portion of it.
And also, I may be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure this is true. That also it's like the same animator who's worked on like Yellow Submarine and like the Wall also worked on this too.
Oh, dude. As you look through this, if you look through just the animation studios alone, like, yeah, it has to be. There's Hallison Bachelor Animation, whatever that is. I'm very bad at this. This is why we need Leo.
But still, Heavy Metal fucking rules.
Yes.
Everyone should go watch that movie. It's incredible.
Like $3.99 on Amazon to rent it right now.
And that's why that was my first pick, but unfortunately it wasn't streaming. So I was like, you know what? Here on Totally Toonular, we like to get a little weird sometimes, you know. It can't always be amazing. But Ben, have you seen Heavy Metal 2000 before?
So I ran a video store from like 2002 until like 2004.
This movie came out in 2000, so this
was
this when you guys got married or met your wife?
It was in the video store. It was in the video store that I ran, and I started it, and I never finished it. I never finished it until this viewing, and I can honestly say I don't think I still finished it. To a point. No. And
What do you mean? Why? I don't
well,
understand.
hear me out, guys.
People coming on the show, dude. You're not gonna know any of the lore. You're not gonna be able to talk to anybody. Wait, can I really quick sidetrack? Because I was looking up on IMDb. You guys talking about the animators. Danny, I'm gonna butcher this name. It's Antonucci. One of the lead animators on Heavy Metal was also the creator and writer for Ed, Edd n Eddy.
There you go.
Oh, shit.
Like, I was looking up like the connection stuff like that, and yeah, his big credit is Ed, Edd n Eddy.
That's
Wow.
sick. Yes, look at that.
But this is the first Heavy Metal. Now we're talking about the shit one.
the shit one. Nobody did anything off this heavy metal.
So on this one though, literally in watching it over the last like couple of days, I sat down, I watched it all on Monday in its entirety. However, when it got past sort of like the last battle, I kind of gave up. I was like, okay, she wins. Into the movie, and I've missed the last 5 minutes twice. I went back.
I'm gonna say first off too. The first thing that pisses me off about this movie is the fact that it's not an anthology.
Yes.
Right.
It's a straightforward story. Because I mean, even the comics, right? I mean, they're not straightforward stories.
No.
It's a bummer that it's a full story and that the full story is also crap.
Yeah.
That's, I think,
Like,
adding insult to injury.
Minimal effort
Yeah.
put into it.
So-
Yes. One thing that strikes me immediately is the villain that's supposed to put fear into the hearts of everybody's name is Tyler.
This was I was making this comment too, because like they're supposed to be like this super like crazy alien race and everything, and like the lead's name is Julie,
Julie.
and the
Julie and
villain's
Tyler.
name is Tyler. Like what?
Badass space bitch protagonist Julie.
Isn't it kind of sad too, though, that this is also Kevin Eastman? Like, it's really sort of sad that
Yeah.
this is Kevin Eastman. And
Can you remind me who Kevin Eastman is?
Ninja
again?
Turtles, right?
Yep.
Ninja Turtles.
He made
bro.
the Ninja Turtles.
It's
Yeah.
that Kevin Eastman.
I mean, is he a creator or is he a voice?
No,
I'm just a little
he's
lost.
creator, yeah? Yeah.
Of the cartoon, like the
comic
the
book.
turtles.
Also, like, what a waste of Billy Idol and Michael Ironside.
Yeah, wait, who is Billy Idol in this movie? I saw he was credited, but I was like, I cannot figure out who is. Is he Tyler?
No, that's Michael Ironside.
That is Michael Ironside.
Oh my god.
Tyler.
Hey, Tyler. Hey, Tyler.
They're such like name placeholders that they never fucking came around to
Yeah,
giving them
we'll come
cool
back later and
names.
fix it, and then
Yeah,
never.
never fucking did. It almost feels like a Gremlins too. Like,
Yeah, I fucking love Gremlins too.
yeah, but what's his fucking name? Didn't.
Whatever his name. Well, yeah, whoever
What's his
directed the
goddamn
first
name?
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't remember his name either.
Yeah, fuck.
But yeah,
I'm
man,
gonna kick myself later for that.
I
But,
know. It's like, was it Joe Dante?
Yes, yes.
There we go. Look at that. I know some stuff. I do know people.
So,
But yeah, he didn't fucking love that shit, and I feel like whoever the fuck made Heavy Metal 2000 was not paying attention to this
Oh
movie
my
being made at
God.
all.
I feel like they literally saw the idea. Oh, there's this hot girl who wears kind of nothing. That's a badass hero. Let's make a movie just on that, which sounds awesome. And then somehow they just make the most bland
so
hero.
Kevin
ever.
Eastman and Julie Strain were married at the time. They split up in like 2007, right? So they again married. It's like he did this as a vehicle to propel his wife into animated.
Wait, so the character's
Yoko.
name is Julie, but it's voiced by someone named Julie.
This
So
movie
they were
only
just
gets
like-
this movie only gets worse.
They didn't want to come up with a name. They're like,
they
we'll just
married?
use your name.
Were they married
Yeah, legit.
Says the
yeah,
guy-
they were.
Yeah.
Right,
Steal
'cause
away.
it's Eastman at the end of Julie, right? Julie.
The-
What's her name?
Julie
something
Strain.
Eastman, right?
Julie Strain. Kevin Eastman.
Julie
Julie
Strain
Strain. Yeah.
Yeah.
More like Julie strained my fucking eyes watching this movie. Am I right, fellas?
Hey.
Jesus.
So
Yeah, because she's credited as Julie Strain
yeah,
Eastman.
Julie Strain Eastman, married at the time. Also, big Trauma connection. Julie Strain used to do a bunch of stuff with Trauma. I want to say she's in Rowdy Girls, if I remember right, because the
That is.
We will never fucking escape trauma. This is just our life. Now. We're never gonna get out of
Bro,
it.
she shows up in episodes of Edge TV. She even was in Tales from the Crapper. Like Julie Strain was embedded in trauma for a hot minute, man.
Wait, wasn't Julie Strain the one that almost fucked over the whole movie?
Julie
Tales from the
Strain.
Crapper? Was that her? Or was that somebody else?
I think that's her. Somebody
almost fucking
I think there's a lot that
money
fucked
laundered
that movie.
Tales of the Crapper. We're not here to talk about Tales of the Crapper. We're here to talk about Heavy Metal 2000.
We can say this though allegedly, but we don't have to because she died in 2021. Also,
Oh, yeah, we can say whatever we want.
Oh, rest in power.
Rest in
So-
power. Well, I mean, which movie would you watch, Ben Johnson?
Rest in pussy power.
Yeah.
More like it.
You watch Tales from the Crapper or Heavy Metal 2000?
oh, I would much rather watch Tales from the Crapper.
I'd rather shoot myself in the fucking head. Do either of those things.
I wrote the exact time, the exact like 48:06 when the remote control fell out of my hand and I fell asleep watching this fucking movie, dude.
So and that's the thing, right, guys? Like as far as this movie in particular goes, it from the beginning, it's a bad story. The voice acting is bad. There's no passion. Nobody cares about anything.
The dialogue is atrocious.
It is terrible.
So
It is 100%. It is some of the worst dialogue ever.
There's a line you pointed out, it's Chili Beans. I can't remember.
I
it
wrote
now,
them all down.
But you were like, man, that's like it was like when
Oh,
she was
there was
straddling him.
There was so many terrible one-liners. I remember I can't even think of it because they're so fucking forgettable.
There's something about him like dying or like he's seen heaven and she's like, oh, both.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
shit like that. The one that stood out to me though was like right at like they were having that fight at the end, and he goes to grab the crystal, and she comes up and she's like, "Did you miss me?" And it's like it's been 2 seconds since you were on the fucking ground. Like you didn't set yourself up for that at all.
And they don't even call it the Lochnar. They're just like, it's a key.
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
It's
They
a
were like
crystal.
ripping off Ghostbusters at that point. We're like, oh, the key master or the gatekeeper, all that bullshit.
Well,
Lame.
It's not even just one-liners. Like, there's lines of dialogue that are like, "We're having fun," and it's like, who wrote this?
yeah.
That's screenwriting shorthand. You make the audience think it's there right
Now, do,
You say we're having fun, and then people say we're having fun, and now they've said they're having fun.
Well, you're not gonna. You don't show people having fun because the audience doesn't get that fun is being had.
Right, you have to explain it to them.
because
Audience is
nobody
stupid.
watching this is having any
You're not
fun.
wrong.
I really hope that line was also like added later. Like they made the movie and they're like, nobody's having fun. Let's dump this line in there real quick so people think they're having
There was
fun.
a studio head that's like, but is anybody having fun?
Remind them that they're having fun.
Like
Remind them to
absolutely
fucking-
no one is having any fun. Nobody. The audience,
Almost
us
every
making it,
line is like, this
the
sucks.
animators.
Wait,
Have you ever seen a thing? Have you guys ever seen a thing? Like usually, like a horny cartoon is great. You're like, ooh, for the animator, they're like, oh, I get to draw boobs, and then you're like, oh, I have to draw my boss's wife's boobs. Like that's like.
I'm still gonna do it, but I'm not gonna be happy about it.
Right.
I'd rather be drawing other boobs.
Yeah, and not to like, yeah, I mean, we all love boobs. Boobs are great. But
Honestly, even boobs couldn't save this movie. That was
No.
like
that's what I'm trying to get
that's
at.
the indicator.
It's
because they're like in the wrong spots.
Yeah. And I
like,
particularly remember this scene. It's like when the chick she just gets naked, goes into a bath, swims through the pool, and gets out and gets dressed or whatever. And it's just like, where did this come from? Like it
Right.
just. And I remember in the OG Heavy Metal, we talked about it. There's a scene where she gets naked, she goes into this water, right? She swims up to this like statue, she gets her sword, she gets like this whole like power up thing, and it's this like amazing moment
Right.
with this incredible visual. And then there's this movie that tries to do the same scene, and then it's just this naked lady just
And it's just like
swimming.
she's dressed like Vampire now. There you go.
Yeah, it's
have
like
fun with that.
Yeah, it's like there she goes. It's just there. So yes, I mean the boobs don't even feel like they mean anything in
Right,
this
exactly.
movie. But I feel like Heavy Metal, like I don't know, like either the joke was they were naked or like there was still like an artistic push for the nudity. Then
If you just
Whatever the fuck
give
this
people
was.
boobs, they're not gonna mean anything.
No.
You have to make you have to like build
Meaningless
up to it.
boobs.
And then, like,
Yeah.
and then
you
get
gotta
off,
slap
know?
your lead actor in the face with them.
You have to slap 4 people in the face with them and get that nice fibbity sound throughout. But like to have meaningless boobs in a movie is crazy, and those
This is coming from you, Ben.
It is.
Yeah.
This is coming from who've worked at Trauma for years, and we're all sitting here like meaningless boobs in movies. How dare they?
But okay, like two.
Hey, Romeo and Juliet needed that, all right?
Oh, the piercing scene. Yeah, it's critical.
It's integral to the plot. You wouldn't understand the rest of the movie
No.
without
Yeah.
seeing that.
No, that
We can talk about that scene for like forever. I mean, it's still shocking and funny, and like you know,
Yes.
that's the opening, right? Like that's like
it's
the
right
beginning.
here. Yeah.
That's why you look at this movie and it's like, yeah, the boobs just feel so bland. Like I don't know.
Wait,
Like,
have you ever heard like the story about the nipple piercing scene in Romeo and Juliet?
No, I didn't know there
apparently
was a
when
story.
it's not like that great of a story, but apparently there was like, it was in the wide shots, it was supposed to be like the left boob, but then like when they did the close-ups, they were piercing the right boob.
Yep.
And so they were like, and James Gunn was like, "Oh fuck, we're like, you know, people are gonna, and it's like we're gonna close up on a boob. No one's gonna notice which
I
boob
mean,
it is."
I've watched that movie a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Never
that's
noticed
that's
that.
your continuity error for Romeo and Juliet.
notice
It is
that?
not.
And
the
do you
correct
know?
boob being-
Do you know who that is though? Too, who's getting her boob pierced?
No.
It's not the actress. It's
Julia Strain.
Is it Julia Strain?
no, it's the drummer for Jane Jensen.
She was like, "Hurry up! I got to do Heavy Metal 2000."
It's the drummer for Jane Jensen's band.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
the actress didn't want to get a tit piercing, and Jane Jensen's drummer was like, "I'll get mine pierced." And then
Yeah.
when they go back to the wide, it's a like a clip-on.
Well, there you go. But yeah, so the boobs definitely mean more in fucking Romeo and Juliet than they mean in this movie.
Yeah, yes.
Because it's just, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, I guess they're nice boobs, but I don't. It's just, like I said, for some reason, this comes off bland to me. It's like, yeah, just
It's
big
pointless.
boobs, pointless. Like I remember when South Park parodied heavy metal,
Yeah.
right? Amazing.
Yes.
Like that's the sequel you need to watch, and it's like this just makes the shitty, like even somehow just. I don't know. It's just fucking nothing. Like it's just this the animation. Like there's no colors. And I remember most about heavy metal too is in the art is like the fucking colors, like
Yeah.
So
constantly.
they
Also, CGI was violently unwelcome. Like it just, oh my god! Like where before we had like the
Yeah.
take on me
Oh,
kind of animation.
and you can't blame the time. I mean, the Chili Beans tried to argue earlier a bit that it was
Argue is a strong word. What I was saying earlier when James and I were watching the movie before we came onto this was I was saying, well, you know, it's a pro because we were talking both about the new metal that was used in the
we could
movie
give it-
and the CGI that was used. And I was
we
like,
had
well,
some Pantera.
we'd have Pantera in that.
and System, right? System's in there.
I don't remember
System
System.
of that. Yeah, I swear to God, I heard.
There's
Sir.
Bauhaus.
We'll
stuff.
get to the metal in a second. So
Bauhaus was
what
a
were you
hard
saying?
left.
I was just saying that, like, I was like, oh, they're trying to be emblematic. They were trying to be emblematic of the time. They were trying to push this because, like, CG had just come out.
Right.
So they were like, oh, we're going to make this as visually, you know, pioneering, whatever the fuck you want to call that, as the original heavy metal. Because the original was so, like, groundbreaking. They were like, we're going to add all these fucking 3D visuals.
And they just
So-
did the opposite.
I commend them for the effort. It just sucks that it was one of those things that, like, is not timeless the way that it was in
But
heavy
like,
metal.
if you look
Yeah.
at what came out
I
like
get that.
in 2000 of like big animated movies, right? You had El Dorado, which is incredibly animated movie, super underrated
Surely.
animated movie. Dinosaurs, which nobody ever saw. But I
I
remember
saw
watching
Dinosaurs.
that.
Dinosaurs fucking rules.
So that's what I'm
We're
saying.
at
Look at
this is the
that
Dinosaurs
fucking
Pearl hat.
animation. Like it's incredible, and
Right.
that's all the same year. So here are these guys. That's why I look at it. I'm just like, it feels lazy even for 2000.
Yes. It does.
And because today's day and age, you look at like most animated cartoons, like there's a lot of 3D that goes on in cartoons, and most of it looks really good because, you know, in general, it is easier to 3D a car or a spaceship just because they're rounded or there's certain
Yeah.
shapes that's easier to 3D and make it look 2D than it is to draw all that bullshit because it'll take forever. But this just was like, man, like that CG just looks so bad. Like the explosions, it looked like they filmed like a real explosion and then try to comp it in.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
really, really shitty. Like they just look like I don't like they just look way out of place. Like they don't even belong there.
Not at all.
So I also noticed there was like a bit of, at least on the stream that we watched, there was like a bit of graininess to indicate that it was like a film. Do you think this was actually like
No, it's all digital.
it's all in digital?
Yeah.
So which means they also committed the sin of like adding in digital film grain
Right, right.
to try to like salvage some of it. Like, no, it was totally on 35. What are you talking about? That CG was all done on a projector.
So that becomes like a thing. You have a thing that wants so desperately to either be the thing or to pay homage to the thing, but it is so drastically far away from the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Drastically.
This is like the Woodstock '99
You say
of
the
animated movies.
You say the word want though, and want implies that there was like some kind of emotional, passionate connection. And this feels so fucking lazy.
And it was a home release, so I feel the laziness of we'll just put out this home release, slap heavy metal on it, and it'll sell a bunch of tapes.
Exactly, it's an IP people like.
Right. So, well, valid. I'll hand you that. There should have been some more love added to it. But you would think if you're handed a property like heavy metal, you would do something with it, right? Like,
I mean, and the style looks like we talked about this a couple of times in the show. It looks like that late '90s, early 2000s, like animation stuff. Like when we watch Godzilla or like that X-Men cartoon. You know, like there's certain style that like was kind of going on that late '90s, early 2000s stuff, and it's just like they were trying to do it, and it's literally just black and grays and like these like tan kind of colors. Like there's nothing that like pops until you see her dress. Like there's like nothing that really stands out at all.
No,
I don't even remember her dress.
it's
Just a red, leotard.
it's banality for banality's sake. There's nothing of substance.
So I had a line that I had to write down because I was baffled, but it was probably by the character that's played by Billy Idol, and it's the one that looks like he was straight out of like Treasure Planet. Like he's the pirate.
Also a much better movie.
Also,
much better
for
movie.
sure.
Underrated.
But the one that's trying to befriend Julie, who tells him to shut the fuck up the whole movie.
Got it.
Oh,
Right?
the guy with the goatee.
Remember, there's a pirate
Yeah.
in this movie.
The guy with the goatee that follows
exactly.
around.
Wasn't
Yes.
that Jay and or Silent Bob from the Clerks animated
It
show?
was both combined into one character. It was Leonardo. But
What's the line?
so he's sitting there and he's trying to work the ship or something, and he goes, "Mortality sucks. Immortality sucks. Everything sucks." And then people come and they raise guns at him, and he goes, "This really sucks."
That honestly, that's an artistic take because that was exactly how I felt in that moment in this movie.
They just asked the actors like, "How do you feel about this movie?"
Yeah.
He just left the mic on.
Oh man, horrible.
Oh man, yeah, I remember that. I remember a line from that dude where when he first meets the girl's sister, and then he's like, "Oh, your sisters," and he says it in a way that like turns him on. Like it's like he was like he was like mad. He was like, "Oh, it's your sister." Like he's about to just fuck both of them.
Right.
So that's another thing with this, and like, okay, it's a weird sort of subject, right? Like, in general, there are elements in the first one where there's assault type stuff. There's, you know what I mean? Like it gets kind of rapey, but this movie,
Tyler's just going around raping.
everything,
He's just-
anything, everyone, all the people, like that bar sequence. I like.
He fucking raped my eyes by being in this movie.
The antagonist's name is Tyler. That's so fucking funny. I'm not getting over it.
Tyler the rapist.
Look out on your local college campus for Tyler the Rapist.
Oh my god! But like literally, man. At a point though, it's and there are stories that center on assault that are harrowing, and you feel something when you watch it. And when I was watching that whole bar sequence,
Shout out to Psycho Sisters, to Joshua Dowling.
I mean, Psycho Sisters, and then fucking Irreversible. Like, have you guys seen Irreversible?
I just saw the when I went to Brooklyn Horror Fest. Shout out to that. They had a whole section of Brooklyn Horror Fest that was a tribute to French extremism. and they played Irreversible in the way it's like in chronological order.
Oh, so back to front then, right? Like back to front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Which was fascinating.
But that whole sequence in the fucking alley or whatever, in the lights on the way to the train, that to me, that's the thing where like literally they just take that camera, you're in there, they pull back a little bit, and it's like they just set it down on the ground and then leave it, walk away, and you're forced to watch everything that happens. One of the most horrible sequences you could ever sit through.
It's the worst rape scene I think ever shot.
And since it's animated, like literally people had to make that.
Had to make this.
You know, because that shit doesn't exist. Like, you know, there's no camera to place.
There's nothing. They have to start drawing this shit.
And then someone's gonna color it.
Color the rape real quick.
But that
Hang on, there's too much blue in this rape.
again, you feel nothing in the movie. Again, that's a problem. That's a
It's not
just
even
there.
used as a gag.
Yeah.
It's there.
right. It's not. There's no.
Like she was gonna go shoot the fucking guy either way, but he just so happened to be raping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was getting shot no matter what. The second Julie
Yes.
walked in, when Julie confronts Tyler,
The fact, I can't believe that her real name is Julie and they call her Julie in the movie. What the fuck? The laziest shit
I
ever.
Straight Gremlins to energy.
no, wait a minute, bro.
Gremlins 2 is so good. Don't you say that.
And James,
Listen, Gremlins 2 rules.
We
but
are not dissing Gremlins 2
No,
in this
no,
house.
not at
don't
all.
you fucking call it
That's
lazy.
my intention.
Don't you call it lazy, because you know what?
Yeah.
No, I'm calling it hated. Like created by somebody that doesn't want
Like
to
it?
create it.
Because we named Cyrus, and Cyrus's name is Cyrus. So don't you dare call.
I mean, Kyle and John is also just John.
Don't you dare call that lazy.
And also, you watch Steeler, you know, with Portrait of Payback. I was too lazy to come up with names. So everybody's name is also just their names. Connor's just Connor.
So
Well, then we're just goons, right?
In the script, your name is Kyle. Like, it's just there.
Good to
It's
know.
just I never had to say it out loud. You know, Dwayne never had to be like, you, Kyle. So it just,
Right.
it doesn't matter.
amazing. But
But there was rehearsal
Just say
footage.
Kyle Davis in the credits.
Is Reeves still in the chat?
oh,
at
let
all?
me check,
No.
dude. I've bailed on that chat, and I feel guilty about it.
Oh, man,
Oh,
you
you're the
bailed
guy.
on that?
You're
You're the
the-
guy.
No,
Yeah, you're the
I
guy-
don't mean I bailed on it. I mean, like, I'm still in the chat, but like, I got too wrapped up in this whole.
But he hasn't been reading the chat. While Ben looks at the chat, I was going to talk about lazy character naming. When I did the newest Trauma Now ad, if any of you have seen the Trauma Team post about the two girls at the sleepover.
Yes, 2 girls asleep.
Their names in the script were Sydney and Cindy because I had 2 interns,
Both of Dwayne's former lovers.
both of Dwayne's former lovers. I didn't realize that until after you told me that. The reason for it was because we had an intern named Sydney and one named Cindy, and we kept getting confused. We would be like, wait, so is it Sydney or is it Sid? Like,
Yeah,
pronunciation and everything, and I just thought that was funny. But also turned out to be 2 of Dwayne's former lovers, so everything, it all fucking ties back to Trauma at the end.
But there was when we did rehearsal footage, and Reeves didn't do it in the movie, so maybe we can ADR it in. But he would knock on the fake door where Connor's room was, and he would speak his Spanish jargon, whatever it is. But then he would also be like, "Conna, Conna, Conna."
So
So good.
I think you should have kept in the Donde Está biblioteca line from the fucking rehearsals. Sorry, Ben, go
So
ahead.
here's the thing. Back in the chat, our dear friends are they're proving things. They are validating everything that we have said so far.
Amazing. Chat. Is anybody
Yeah, we
else?
know we're right. we weren't
Reeves,
arguing.
Reeves is there verifying, one of the creators of Ninja Turtles, married to Julie Strain. Steeler has verified, yes, Julie Strain was in the Rowdy Girls. And then Reeves once again verifies it was the film that almost destroyed Trauma. And now we've got Joey K back in the chat too. Little Joey K.
Hey,
A fatherless
Joey
Joey
K.
K. A fatherless Joey K.
fatherless. I know you miss your daddy, Leo.
Joey K. Do people ever call you Joe Cool? Because your last name, you got a K with your last name. Cool from now on.
Joe Cool's a good name. Usually
Joe Cool.
I always call him Yoey. You know, it just kind of rolls off the tongue.
Nice.
It's like it sounds like a toddler. Like, Yoey.
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 Well, I'm glad the chat's going off. But yeah, fuck this movie.
Yeah.
Like the CGI, to just go back to it, is like so bad. I mean, it's like they didn't even try to make it look 2D or to make it feel like it fit in one world, because they would do this pan shot where they would go, and someone actually to give this movie any credit. I got a burp.
Nice.
That was a bad one. I'm usually a lot better. But they did this awesome pan shot actually, where it went from space into this spaceship thing, whatever the bad guys were. And it was a sick where you pan down, you pan through it, shit was flying through us. But then the second you got closer into it, it would cut to the 2D, and the 2D looked nothing like everything that you just did the sweeping pan shot to do. Like you put all this money into this shot to then cut to something that doesn't look anything like what we just saw.
Also, the CGI was hard to read. Also, like color wise, like everything just kind of blended together.
Yeah,
and it just looked
color.
like little fucking blobs. Yeah,
and there was one shot actually in particular where the Julie's spaceship is like hovering in front of I guess the big bad guy spaceship, and you see this traffic of like little spaceships flying in front of her. And I guess it was supposed to be she's in the foreground, and you see the little spaceships in the background, like hovering. But you can clearly see it looks like little spaceships are flying past her.
Yeah,
like on the other side, or they're going through her. Like it doesn't look like they're way in the in the background. They look like they're literally tiny spaceships that are just passing through her ship or in front of her.
It's so bad. It's just from start to finish. Like, does anybody have any idea what the production time frame was for this movie? Like,
it was either really long or really short.
one or the other.
Yeah, like it either took them way too fucking long to make this and they gave up, or they just did it in 2 weeks and were like, all right, this is good. Put it out in video.
Well, if it was longer, then that's I'll give them more credit.
I feel like I might give them less credit. Like I almost wish that it was made in 2 weeks. I'd be a little more impressed.
But
also a fucking twist.
Oh, the twist that makes no sense.
I'm Arcasian, which is like him just being like, I'm a race, right? It's like, yeah. So it's like I'm being like, I'm Italian.
Do you guys? I know I said this to Chili Beans here, but do you guys ever play Yu-Gi-Oh?
no.
At all? At all? Like the main villain looks like the guy, the twist villain.
It's my debit card.
Oh, there we go. So the twist villain. Does he not look like the Dark Magician?
Yo.
Like I was literally like, that looks like that's the fucking Dark Magician.
That's
from
really
Yu-Gi-Oh. But then what a shitty fucking reveal. Like it literally comes out of nowhere. The dude is never set up as a bad guy or even have a purpose. Like what was he like? He didn't have like anything that indicated that like he was going after anything. That there was just nothing.
We just knew that he had to then become CGI.
But isn't that the nature of a good twist, though, James? You never see it coming.
The Arcasians are only CGI.
So I didn't find anything on production schedule, but I did find this movie cost $15 million to make.
Can you Google how much the first Heavy Metal cost?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, let me look up and see how much the first.
Can you
one cost.
calculate for inflation?
My God, that's like $3 billion. What are you talking about? This is the most expensive movie ever made.
So
that's just another Avengers movie now.
But to talk about how shitty the twist is, though. So we were earlier, Kyle. You were over here and you talked about how much you like Saw. We're talking about Saw, whatever.
Yeah.
Like the twist in Saw is fucking perfect because
check out our Saw perspective on YouTube. Top Cult. Go on. Yes.
But like the twist with the Saw is amazing because we see him, as a dead body the entire time. I mean, there's like a small plant of what's happening, and then the twist, you're like, it's that thing we've that's been around us, and then that's it all kind of connects and makes sense with this guy.
Modern twist, it's brilliant. Like it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. And then you see this.
I'll say that.
You like this twist in
no,
Heavy Metal?
I'm talking about Saw.
Yeah,
Saw.
Saw. Now we're talking about Saw.
Nothing is brilliant in this fucking movie.
So yeah, then you get to this twist that just happens. I mean, there's nothing that even implies anything or you're not expecting anything. Like I guess the only thing that implies that this guy is a bad guy, because this is the moment that I questioned in the movie.
But like, why did he have to reveal it? Like, who did he want to reveal that to?
I mean, he could have also stayed the same and been like, I'm a bad guy. Like him taking off his cloak never meant anything. Like,
or what if he just never told anybody and he went, "Thank you, Julie, for killing Tyler," and
then he just went and got the rock.
And then went, "I'll take the rock back to
Yeah.
like the headquarters that protects it." And then Julie could have fucked off, and then he could have just put it in the thing and then gone inside and got his juice.
Bro,
right?
Yeah,
Done.
100%.
Done.
I remember
He didn't even have to take off his face mask.
yeah, the reveal was literally nothing. But I think the
CGI now.
I remember there was a moment in the movie where Julie infiltrates Tyler's room. and
You make that sound way cooler than it actually is.
she goes to she uses her feminine
Yes.
qualities to
For woman power.
yeah, her woman power
Yeah.
to kind of get in the head of Tyler.
Yep.
And when she's straddling him, whatever, then she gets to a fight and she's about to kill him. Like she literally is gonna kill
Yes.
him right there. And then the Rock dude's like, "We have to leave now," for no reason.
Wait, do you remember? They give a reason, and it's fucking hilarious, and I wrote it down. Hold on, it's so fucking funny. The rock monster, the little boy rock monster,
Yeah.
pulls her away, and then Julie goes up to the Arcasian, right? Whatever
Yes.
the fuck his name was, Ted probably, and goes. And she goes, "What the fuck? I had him. I was gonna kill Tyler." And the guy says, "We thought you were in trouble."
And that's it. That's the only explanation that they give. They're like, "We thought you were in trouble." And, okay. All right.
And that doesn't
See you later.
and if he was the big bad, and that's your little nod that he's gonna turn or do his
Right.
heel turn.
Right.
If that's your nod, it doesn't make any sense. Like why?
Very poorly executed.
Because you could still just let him fucking die.
Yeah, and you would still get your Locknar or whatever the
Right.
fucking
You-
crystal.
Your key.
You cannot call
But
this
she
a
had-
Lochnar. This is
she-
a pale fucking
No.
comparison to
Agreed.
the Lochnar, James. I'm sorry, bro.
All right, we'll call it the key. Like they call it the move or the crystal key. But she literally has him. So literally it's he is there. There's no bad guys around. It's when the rock monster comes in is when the bad guys show up.
Yeah, she had spots at the bottom of her shoe, right? And she drove it into his face.
Yeah, she was
right?
drowning him.
She
He couldn't,
thumbtack super kicked him.
and he couldn't reach his whatever that fucking serum steroids he was taking
Right.
that healed him. He couldn't reach any of that shit, and she had him for some reason. They had to move. They had to move the plot forward for some way.
What do you call it? His almonds or something?
His almonds.
I hate this movie.
It's nuts.
I'm sorry.
It's
I got very bored with it. I found myself playing with my phone a lot during it. I just quit caring at a certain
I
point.
thought you were gonna say playing with yourself.
Well, listen, you know what? No, me and my masturbatory habits, we protested this film.
You know the rules, right? It's you shake it once, that's fine. 2 times is okay, but 3 times is when you're playing with yourself.
There's never a bad time for Good Charlotte. The
Listen,
lyric
I'm not
in
gonna
the
lie to
show.
you. If you go through my entire Facebook history, I never stop thinking about that line. Every time I piss, I think about Good Charlotte, and I hate them for
See,
it.
this is where the generation gap is real, where it's fucking real. Do you know what I think about when I think about it 3 times shaking it? I think about Frank Zappa, and it's in Disco Boy. He goes, "If you shake it more than 3
I'm into that
times,
too,
and you're
though.
playing with it while you're staying."
You hang out in between us here.
Oh, dude, I'm the daywalker, dude. I'll listen to David Bowie, Fela Kuti. I'll listen to fucking Elvin Bishop.
Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, dude.
But literally, I always think of Frank Zappa and Disco Boy when I hear "is shake it more than 3 times" and you're playing with it.
That is a good transition too, is the fucking music in this movie, because man, is it dated as fuck. It is what are the top bands in 2000? That I'm surprised Limp Bizkit didn't have a
right.
song in this, or
There's
Linkin
a
Park.
Bauhaus song, which credit that does
Yeah.
rule, and then there is a Pantera
Yep.
song. It was
I'm
And all the new metal kind of blended
Something
together.
insane.
For me.
I can't remember what the fuck it was.
Like I mean,
Immortally Insane.
I wanted to like a couple of these songs, but all the new metal just blended together in this movie for me,
Right.
Like completely.
Well, that's the thing. Like comparatively speaking, that to heavy metal, every song in heavy metal has a reason for why it's there, and like it's given a platform.
Yeah.
This is like almost background music and cut off way too soon for you to even know what fucking song it is.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
Let's.
And also they do a thing where it would like they did a lot in this movie where it fade to black and then the song would fade out with it. But in a really shitty, like lazy editing sort of way.
So let's do this, guys. Let's literally go through this because I kind of fucking just want to. There are about
like
7 or 8 bands in here that are fucking decent and that are still okay to this day. System of a Down, right? They're here.
What's the System song?
It's called Storaged. Yeah.
What fuck is that from?
It may have been done just for this, bro. I have no idea.
Oh no!
but you've got a band called Apartment 26. Don't know what that is. Monster Magnets on here. Machine Head. I'm still a massive Machine Head guy.
Machine Head's
Yeah.
cool.
Alcola Holocaust. Alcola Holocaust. Wow.
Nice.
Alcohol Holocaust. I see.
Like MDF.
Say again.
MDFMK also. There was a song,
Absolutely, yeah. Missing Time. You got fucking ICP with a song called Dirtball. Love Me.
No
straight
shit.
up Juggalo, baby, all day long. Queens of the Stone Age. Bauhaus, yes. Fucking Billy Idol. Some band called Hate Department. Some band called Zilch. Hang on one second, guys. We can go through all of this. These fucking dogs again. They're tearing up my house. Full Devil Jackets here.
There's so many bands in this, man, and I literally all the music sounds like the
Sinestar,
same.
whatever the fuck that is. Sinestar.
Not Sinister.
I don't know.
Okay.
I hate them all. I with the exception of like 6 of them.
I mean, Ben, were you a new metal kind of guy?
No, dude. No, look at me.
I mean, ICP counts as new metal.
It
doesn't
does.
No,
It totally-
that's straight up
Totally.
Detroit
Like the pioneers of
Southwest
metal, they
Side fucking hip hop.
You give Fred Durst credit where credit's due.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough.
Fred Durst is the pioneer.
Fred
of
Durst is
shitty
the
new
pioneer.
metal.
And Cypress Hill.
I mean, I love my Linkin Park. You know, Hybrid Theories. That's a solid album.
It is.
I mean, I had my new metal phase, but it's just
Same. I was obsessed with Korn actually, but that was like
Korn's
5th
cool.
grade.
I'll tell you about me and new metal. Here's the problem. Coal Chamber is a big problem. I went to a show and it was the only time I've ever left a show early. It was a band called Amen. Then it was Slipknot. This is 99. It was Slipknot. This is post. They were just off of Ozfest. So it was Amen, Slipknot, Machine Head, and then fucking Coal Chamber was the headliner.
That's a hard
Bro, let me tell you something. It fucked me up. Me and my buddy Justin, we went, saw it in Memphis. On first 3 bands, it's like, tonight's going to be amazing. And then fucking Coal Chamber comes out and shits the bed in a song and a half. And I looked at him and I'm like, you're done, right? And he's like, I'm done. I'm done. Let's go home. And then we got in a car. We went to a...
You never listened to them ever again.
Yeah, I have a similar experience like that where it was Jane's Addiction and 9 Inch Nails on 9 Inch Nails' farewell tour.
Oh,
okay, farewell tour. So they wound up switching off who would headline each show. So the one we went to happened to be Jane's Addiction headlining. So on 9 Inch Nails' farewell tour, they played their set in the fucking daylight. So their whole light show with the screens and everything, you couldn't see dick.
Oh.
And then Jane's Addiction came on and just did nothing. And we were like, I think I hate Jane's Addiction now. And Entourage. Fuck that show too now.
Yeah, I mean, I have a similar experience, but not with a metal band. But when I was younger, in high school, I really liked the, Yellow Card, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they were playing a Warped Tour for the first time. And this was like the second Warped Tour I went to, so I was 20. So this was my first Warped Tour, not as like a teenager. I think Sum 41 was playing. That's what made me
Nice.
go, obviously, because everyone knows
Yeah.
me. But I remember going to see Yellow Card, standing there for literally like 5 minutes. Like, and this is the band that like I would have listened to a bunch of times, like not regularly, but pretty often before this. And I stand there for literally 5 minutes. They immediately start playing. I just hear this sea of teenage girls yell. And I was like, I'm out. And I just left immediately. Until this day, I have not listened to Yellow Card. And that was 2014.
So if we're going first band stories of Warped Tour, I have a really good one. And this also ties into the first time that I ever smoked weed.
Oh,
wow.
The first time that I ever did. So I was, it was Warped Tour 2012. I had a cousin who at the time was 23. And I really wanted to go to Warped Tour that year because Newfound Glory was playing, and I was like,
Hell
I really
yeah.
want to go see Newfound Glory.
Fuck yeah.
And his girlfriend wanted to go to see some other bands, so he was like, yeah, come with us, we'll all go and see it. So of course, I'm hanging out with like these early 20-year-olds, like a 16-year-old, and I was like, this is the fucking coolest thing ever.
Was this New York?
This was PNC Bank Center in Jersey because he lives out in Jersey.
It sounds like the year I went to, but
Probably the same year, but maybe a different show. So anyway, we get there and we wait in the first. We're just like, oh, whatever. Newfound Glory isn't going to later, so it was Sleeping with Sirens.
Oh God,
Was the first band. I never really listened to them before, but also like right before they went on. Right before they're terrible. Don't ever listen to them.
Shitty, teenage girl whiny.
They're like, they're like screaming, but like,
it's so bad.
So they're all fucking passing around a joint, and at this point, I had never smoked weed, but I'm hanging out with my fucking cool cousins and his cool friends. I'm like, I can't look like a pussy right now. I need to do this. So I smoke, and I'm like stupid fucking high, and they come on and just start like their usual screechy dumb bullshit. And it was like the first time I was ever at a show, and I was like, I'm not doing this. And then just fucking walked away from the set.
Literally.
Just walked out. I was on my way out of the thing, and I wasn't paying attention, and I fucking tripped into this group of girls that was sitting in like a circle. Like I tripped over one of them and landed like right in the middle. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Got up and left, and then one of his buddies who was like in the back saw me. He was like, hey, yeah, you were trying to hit on those girls. And I was like, what?
No, I fell.
No, I genuinely fell. But I didn't have that kind of charisma because again, this is the first time I'm like super stoned. I'm like, what?
I'm amazed you ever smoked weed again.
It was
that's like
years.
some like American Pie gag.
That's literally
You glued yourself to all the girls.
that's literally the best though. Like, and maybe you said it was your cousin. Maybe your cousin was like, hey, he's got game. That's how you do it. You fall into it.
I don't know if Patrick even knows this story, so I'm going to send this to my cousin
Hey,
Patrick.
look at that.
Patrick Sullivan lives out in Jersey. He's got a kid now.
Patrick Sullivan with the kid.
I wonder how many people used your move after.
Yeah.
Dove into a round table of girls.
All at Sleeping with Sirens.
Dustin Hoffman, you know what he said? I saw this in The Graduate, in the bonus features of The Graduate. He's talking about like being in high school, and they used to do the jacket trick. Do you know what the jacket trick was? And this is horrible.
No.
Like this would get you fucking shot.
That's probably why Dustin Hoffman got in trouble.
Yeah, I don't like.
A
We're about
couple years ago.
to hear the craziest shit right now. Go ahead and tell us the
Dustin
jacket
Hoffman
trick.
has done movies in a little bit since 2018.
Yeah. Well,
Oh no, when 2018.
look up the behind the scenes on The Graduate. What I'm about to say is absolutely true. Fucking him and his buddies in high school, middle school, whatever, they would go walking up the steps opposite a girl that they liked who was coming down the steps, and then they would put on their jacket and then reach out and like try and touch a boob while they were walking.
Oh,
my
God.
It's a good move.
Jesus Christ!
Listen, it's a good move.
God.
It's morally reprehensible. I don't support
It's
it.
not defensible. It's slight,
But it's a good move.
I mean, but
But bring it back into music too. There's I guess Warped Tour is a defining moment in my life because it's made me realize what bands I like and hate. Because I remember this is how I got into ska, pretty much. And ska
shit.
bands. I was at Warped Tour and there's this. It's a band, but it's really one dude. It's like a dude named Never Shout Never. And it's a very just whiny dude in acoustic
Awful
guitar.
fucking
You know what I'm
band.
talking about,
Yeah,
Chili
I know
Beans.
exactly what
So
you're talking
I was
about.
with my friend who was a
I
girl.
dated girls into those bands.
And yeah, girls fucking love this dude. And so I'm with my friend who was a girl, and we're watching, and same thing. I got about maybe 5 minutes into the set, and I was like, and it's also towards the end of Warped Tour. I think it's like the last bands that are playing.
Wait, I have a
And-
question. It's a one-man ska band?
No, this is not ska yet.
Okay.
It's just one dude in acoustic guitar kind of bullshit.
Like a Spoon Boy or...
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And he has like emo-y hair, but it's kind of hipstery,
Got
and
it.
I don't know. It's fucking bullshit. But whatever. I'm there for a couple minutes, and I looked at my friend. I look at her. I'm like, yo, like, I turn over and I see this band, which is Real Big Fish, right next to us, and the crowd is having the most fun I've ever seen. And I'm sitting here with all these teenage girls who started crying, and I was like, you know what? Like, I look at my friend. I was like, I don't want to go see this band like over here, and she was like, I'm down. And I went and I saw Real Big Fish, and I've never turned back on ska.
Fuck yeah.
Ever since.
Ska was there for you. You got to be there for ska.
In your time of need, dude.
But yeah. So yeah, music's important, and this movie, I think, totally. I mean, maybe it didn't drop the ball because you guys seem to like a couple of these songs, but to me, the songs just felt
I
like
didn't like the
nothing.
songs. Yeah, I'm with James on this.
Listen, I like some of the songs as their own songs, but they're not used well enough in this movie for you to really get a grasp of what the song actually is even.
Right.
And it's like, you know, I know that these songs sound different, but the way this movie is cut together and the way the songs are put in, like, it all blends together. Like, I could not tell you the difference of any song that played in this movie.
Dude, they could have used like Tears for Fears fucking like Head Over Heels and you wouldn't have fucking known it.
Nothing.
Like,
But speaking of soundtracks, you guys do know that the original Heavy Metal didn't see like a proper video release until 1996, right?
Really?
was it because of
It was because of music rights. Yep, over everything. That's exactly what it was. So Made in 81 was theater bound until 1996. I was looking up because
It's kind of ironic. This movie never got theater bound, and it was only home release.
and it shouldn't have even gotten that. So the guy, but I was looking up because I was kind of curious about scoring, because in heavy metal, while it's punctuated with awesome fucking music, it also has a score to it that's memorable, that's known, that's not like riff based, that's not whatever. This has a score too, and I couldn't tell you where the ambient score lives inside of this movie. I could not fucking tell you to save my life.
There is a score in this movie, like besides the soundtrack.
Those are the only moments I actually noticed. Is the score in the beginning kind of sounds like Alien almost, like a mixture of like Alien and Indiana Jones.
Oh wait, I do remember because there's one score that sounds exactly like the AOL Instant Messenger noise.
So
I can confirm he did say that at one point. He was like, "Isn't this the
You guys
AOL
know-
messenger
you-
noise?" Yeah.
I mean, you guys are old enough. You know the AOL
Yes.
Instant Messenger noise. It was like, boing.
Kyle.
Yeah.
It was that noise repeated like 5 times.
Not the dial-up.
No, but it was like just like when you send like a message on AOL.
Kyle,
Yeah.
you said Indiana
Talk
Jones.
to me.
The man that scored Heavy Metal 2000 did young Indiana Jones on television
Oh my God, dog, let's talk. Masks of
in
Evil.
fucking
Let's go.
in 92 and 93. Yeah, this
out
guy
to
did. His
Indiana.
name is
I had that whole collection.
Frederic Talgorn. He did the television score for Young Indy.
Amazing.
I'm looking through here. He's actually got some pretty cool shit, like Edge of Sanity. Have you guys seen that? Dude,
No.
it's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story set around Jack the Ripper with fucking Anthony Perkins as Dr. Jekyll. It's fuck crazy. So good. So fucking good.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it is baller. He did Robot Jocks, which I'm sorry, 80s baby.
I don't know.
Robot Jocks is tits. It's a great.
Are they just
Robot
jocks?
Jocks does rule. Can confirm.
Is it like are the jocks robots and they're beating up all like the nerds in school, or, like,
I mean, like,
is that the movie?
I mean,
Just Revenge makes Transformers.
yeah, it's sort of, kind of, but not at all. Yeah, sort of, kind of, but not at all. Yeah, he's done some pretty amazing shit, really. Like, and then, more recently in 2010, he did The Little Prince. Like, come on, this guy's all right. But yeah, I didn't notice.
In Heavy Metal 2000.
Truly, I didn't notice. And that's a terrible thing. But I also think it's about how I felt about the movie. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I barely noticed. I just noticed it sounded like AOL out of
Right.
nowhere.
Those were the only moments where I was like, huh, a score.
Yeah, because they have to make it obvious, otherwise you just wouldn't notice.
Right. You'd be like, you'd be like, what fucking typo negative song is this?
It's like I don't get it. It's like, heavy metal is such a like unique style to it, right? And what it was and what it accomplished. It's like, all right, we're gonna make a sequel, and then let's do none of that. Like literally none of it. And just make this random story about a chick fighting in space.
Yeah, I mean, like all right. So, I do believe that structurally just structurally. That's the only word I'm going to use. There is a competent sci-fi movie in this movie.
I think so too. Like I do love the idea of this, like a story about this like sexy space girl, like fighting this like rebellion and whatever. And
Yeah, with a better script, this
Yeah.
totally could have worked.
like this could have been the sexy Star Wars,
Sexy Star Wars.
but no, it's got to be this bland, boring fucking.
What was it we
garbage.
watched with John Brennan? That was the sexy Star Wars.
Oh, something Starfighter, like the last
Yeah.
shit that Warren. It's like Warren the last Starfighter or something
Yeah,
like that.
that was sexy Star Wars. That's almost what you would want
That is
this to
sexy
be.
Star Wars. Yeah, that's like literally that is the better version. Fuck, I wish I could remember. Where's my? I don't have my
I'm
phone to
looking it
look
up right now.
Who's Donald Trump? She had a sexy Star Wars.
A
Star Chaser, The Legend of Warren. Star Chaser.
You ever see that movie? No. It's a pretty rare movie that our good old pal John Brennan requested us to watch. And yeah, that is literally sexy Star Wars. Like the dude is Luke. Like they got the whole like Star Wars bit, except they kind of actually that movie looks more like heavy metal than this movie looks like heavy metal.
Truly, it really does. Like the whole fucking thing.
How much what?
How much sweat is in it?
A lot of sweat.
Okay, good. Thank God.
They're just naked the whole time.
Yeah. And you want to hear something funny? It is a spiritual sequel to heavy metal because it was made in '85. So like it's hot.
That's the heavy metal sequel everybody should watch. Is Orin the last Star Chaser?
I'll watch it tonight.
So,
You should. Kind of a rare movie to find. I think it's actually streaming on Tubi. Do you remember how we watched it? I don't even remember.
I can't remember. I think it was like a link somebody sent. I think it was literally a link someone sent. Hang on. I'll do that.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, but Orin the last Star Chaser. Fucking
Okay.
weird. And also, that was the first movie. And it's crazy because we mentioned the CGI in this movie. That movie, Orin the Last Star Chaser, was the first movie to bring in CG to animation because of the idea of spaceships. Like, it was easier to 3D it and do shapes or whatever. And that movie does it better in 85 than this entire movie does with any of its CG, anything. Like, any of the spaceships.
Well, the time never is the main deciding factor. It's just it's passion.
True. I mean, look at Jurassic Park, right? I mean, that CG for some reason holds up. That whole movie holds up better than the modern Jurassic Park movies that they put out today.
Right.
Right. So it's definitely not the time. It's just like
Exactly.
the direction, the care, and like how to put this
The
thing
care.
out. Yeah.
You know, like it's somebody that gives a fuck about making something that looks good.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I look at this movie and it's like, yeah, you were saying, oh, maybe they took either 2 weeks or 2 years, but clearly, if they, no matter what time frame it took to make it, doesn't seem like anyone really gave a fuck other than let's put out this IP.
Right.
Yeah. And Star Chaser, Kyle, YouTube. You can find it on YouTube all day long.
On YouTube, that's how we watched it. Yeah.
All day long, but
Hey, don't watch it in public like me and Leo did.
James was on an airplane watching this.
I was on an airplane and Leo was at the gym, and I remember John Brennan just being like, "What's wrong with you people?"
There's a whole sequence where this chick is like, and it is, I mean, dude, it is horny. It is horny. This
Sorry.
chick has an ass on her.
Sweating on an airplane.
When like asses, in Hollywood were just these like weird little squares. Nobody had an ass. This girl has like a straight up fucking
Good old long
peach
butts.
dumper. You know what I mean? Like it's like a fucking apple bottom, and she's crawling like military style through this fucking log. And you're just staring at just these two pieces of ham just bouncing up and down.
It's rotoscope. It's like a Ralph Bakshi kind of rotoscope movie, though I don't think Ralph Bakshi actually worked on it, but it's that style. So clearly they filmed this girl with the big ass and then rotoscoped over her.
Perfect.
That must have been fun for an animator.
They were ahead of their time.
Yeah.
with the
And let me
S.
tell you something. You, as much as I put my dick away during this movie, that one is one that you can't help but keep it out. You know what I'm saying? Like your dick is just out the whole time.
I really enjoy.
Yes. Yes.
I really enjoy coming. Yeah, man. Fuck. I don't know. So let's get anything that you liked about this movie, Ben.
I mean, I don't know. Some of the ship stuff looked okay. But overall, no, man. It didn't hold my attention. It didn't. The bits that were supposed to make you laugh didn't. Like all of that stuff just did.
I didn't laugh once.
No, it just did not for me.
What about you, Kyle? Anything stand out?
I would go back and just listen to the original score. And I think there's probably something there that's worth crediting. Other than that, Bauhaus gets 3 stars automatically. But the movie stays at 3 stars because there's nothing else that I can give it credit for.
This comes from a guy who reviews movies a lot. With you, Chili Beans, anything redeemable?
I enjoyed my life before I watched this movie. I watched 2 years ago when it was on HBO Max, or I think over 2 years ago, and literally have not thought about it until the other day when you were like, "Hey, we're gonna do Heavy Metal 2000," and I was like, "What the fuck? You never bring me on to like cool episodes."
If I remember, I pitched it like, "Hey, Chili Beans, we're gonna do heavy metal." What? Heavy Metal 2000?
Yeah, literally, and I was like, "Fuck!" I was so excited to talk about Heavy Metal 2000.
Yeah, well, I got some redeeming bits. Like I said, as much as shitty as the CGI is, there actually are some really good rendered, like, panning shots around the spaceship that are actually like pretty awesome in like the idea of it, like what they do, even though it cuts terrible. And when they go closer, it looks bad. But I just remember this big sweeping shot, like over the spaceship, where it kind of comes. It's like the spaceship's like a U thing, you know. It's like a big circle. So they're on the outside of it, and they come inside, and then like a part of it comes up into frame as we're like panning down through it. And that shot looked really nice. And the one badass moment that I really did like is when, and probably because I love Batman as much as I do, but when the lady wears her, like when she gets into her like red skimpy outfit, the main hero outfit, she puts on those like Batman gauntlet spikes or whatever.
Right.
And there's one scene towards the end during the big battle where she's walking and she just fucking kills one dude with like a slice of her wrist this way. That was pretty awesome. I wish I got more of that.
I do remember that. So yeah, I was like, oh cool, yeah.
She did stab Tyler in the end with them. She was like on his back and like okay, but it looked kind of weird when she did
I
that.
liked it when Tyler's eyeball fell out. I thought that was neat. Right when she smashes his head.
Yeah, and the thing is too, man. Like I said, like this movie has the bits, right? I mean, there's the boobs, there's the violence that looks awesome too. Like I remember, Tyler kills his like partner or whatever. He kills. I forgot who the dude is exactly, but he kills his friend, or maybe it's the pirate
Right,
guy.
because he tried to get the juice.
Jay and or
Whatever.
Silent Bob.
Yeah, he tried to get the juice.
No, this is a different one.
Yeah, it's a different guy.
No, he also looks like Jay or Silent
they-
Bob.
they-
They all-
this one's
they
more
all
Silent
look
Bob.
like
They
This one's
look
more so.
exactly the same, but they're two different people. But he like takes his axe and hits him right in the face with it, which I think is really sick. And then
Yes.
there's a fight that Tyler does with this like lizard guy underground, and the lizard guy like kind of like axes him in the chest.
Oh, the Lizard King, where he does the Shao Kahn.
Yeah, and he
Okay.
he axes him in the chest. Was also like the violence actually I think looked really good, but just like the boobs, like the violence doesn't mean anything. Like it just like it's just there. Like I don't know. Like it's like stuff that should be awesome because it looks awesome, but it's not awesome.
Again, we
kinda like-
recognize the irony of four trauma people sitting here on the couch talking about this needless violence in this
I'm
movie.
not saying like there's no thing, but Trauma, it's still like it like there's
It
some
makes
even though it's
sense.
needless.
No, you're right. It
Like-
does tie into the story. I was just fucking
That
busting
and
my balls.
also sometimes there's a build up to it.
Yeah, you're even a build up to it or not. Like just all of it just felt like okay, we're just all right. Here's violence. Okay, here's boobs. And here's dialogue. There's no pacing that made any of that fun.
Well, to that end, wait, hang on real quick. I have to make mention of this. So, Chili Beans. In Terra Firma, there's the life affirming rape scene, right? So to
Yes.
go back to this, everything that happens at the bar, pointless, makes no sense, takes you nowhere. The entire conversation of Terra Firma takes you to that moment where she in turn takes her power back. So all of the violence, everything that's gone up to it, brings you right there, right? So in essence, had Julian.
And they set it up. I mean, Terra Firma, they do set it up.
Which is
Yeah.
also like a parody of. I think that was an actual thing that was said on public radio. I think there was like a genuine story
No,
about
really?
it. And they,
Yeah.
I think that was like what they were ripping on. Yeah,
100%.
because they were like, it's such a fucking stupid, like a life affirming rape. Like that's such a fucking stupid thing. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It had meaning, it had purpose. They built it up, and when you got to there, and then the joke finally paid off. Whereas in this one, everything was all set
There's
up.
no
and
payoff.
no payoff for anything.
nothing.
The
The
main
payoff
villain
that
gets,
there's a villain that you didn't know was a villain.
and he gets locked in a tomb, and then it's over.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's it.
how it
But
is.
you know
He
what?
gets locked in the tomb. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it.
I'm coming around to this though. A nonchalant
We're
rape
talking
scene.
ourselves into liking Heavy Metal 2000.
A nonchalant rape scene is very funny. It's just one that just shouldn't be there at all, but just is. The idea of that
That's a
is
screenwriting
comical.
challenge for all of you out there.
It'll probably
Write a
run you-
casual rape scene.
It'll probably
in
run
your
you about
next
11
feature.
pages.
11 pages. That's my
So you were
Inside
saying
joke
that
for
you
me and
didn't have
Ben.
any fun,
that's
With this movie,
But-
zero fun.
but they
Zero
made sure
fun.
that you knew you were having fun though.
Yeah, because they told me.
They told you.
They did
told
instruct
you're
you to have
having
fun. They were like, you are having fun. You
All
are
right.
enjoying this.
So, Kyle, since you're your first time on this show,
Yes.
so we rate things in our own way.
This seems redundant.
Did you say we
I
rate
don't
things in
know.
our own way? What?
We
Rate,
rate
thank
with the T. Rate with the T. So we rate our shows, with our own little system here. So when I'm gonna go backwards since we instead of saying what our cue is when we don't like a show, I'm gonna go with backwards with what we say when we really love a show. So since I know what our answer is gonna be, but
Okay.
if you really if you're gonna die on the hill of Heavy Metal 2000 and you love every bit of this is your cue.
I really enjoy.
I'll also cut off. I got to fix that soundbite, but it says, "I really enjoy coming." So if you really love this show, you give it. I really enjoy coming. But if you like the show and it's awesome, and you would watch it again, watch Heavy Metal 3000, then you will give it the good old
Success.
success. Zach
Okay.
Amico says that line.
Love him.
I know you're a Legion of Skanks fan.
Yep.
And now, if you hate the show and you despise it, then you give it the old where dear. That was Derek, who you also met.
I don't think I've ever heard it,
our
like, the
art
extended
director
version of
from
that.
Steeler.
I don't know how you got
That's his
audio
voice.
of what my heart was
That's
while
his voice.
watching
So I'm gonna,
Heavy Metal 2000.
so I'm gonna start with you, Kyle. What are you gonna rate this show?
Yeah, an hour and 20 minutes felt like an eternity. I never want to
What
watch
are
it
your final
again.
thoughts on the show, Kyle?
I never want to watch it again. I will never watch it again ever. I hated that movie.
Yeah. So Chili Beans, what are you giving the show? What are your final thoughts?
You don't have a soundbite of somebody jumping off of a bridge, but that was just what it would be. So we're gonna give it the old Derek Johnson. Just the opposite of a treat.
And since it's your first time hearing this soundbite, that's full Derek, and you met Derek, obviously.
Yes.
That's full Derek, no audio enhancements or any editing. That's full raw Derek audio.
I love
of
it.
his voice.
It's perfect.
So yeah, Chili Beans, final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like this is the second time I've ever to watch this movie because of this show.
Watched it twice.
Well, I watched it originally like a year ago just to check it out. like,
Really?
that's what I was just saying that. I said I watched it a year ago and then didn't think about it
guess I
ever
missed
since. But this will be the last time that I ever watch it. Like nobody, this is America and nobody can force you to do anything. And no one is ever going to force me to watch Heavy Metal 2000 ever again. That's my closing thoughts on this.
Mr. Ben Johnson.
Yep.
What are you giving?
No, I mean we're going where deer all day. All day. It never gets old. I I would stop, you gotta stop. So like that's the thing, right? Like I think Chili Bean said it best. Nobody can make you watch it again. I wouldn't even suggest people watch this as a goof, you know? I look at the shitty things that we've watched in the past, and I'm looking at the YouTube right now, and I see fucking
Yeah, I think compared to
I see Ewoks up in the corner, right? Hated it. I would actually tell someone, you want to see something horrible? Watch Ewoks, right?
What about Godzilla 2000 that we watched?
Oh,
That's a really big
the
movie.
animated show. No, the animated Godzilla show.
okay, yeah.
Based off of the 90s movie.
Oh no, it's 12 stars. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's good.
but like I would more recommend that somebody watch Ewoks like on repeat than this. It's not a good movie. It's not fun. There's nothing redeeming about it. And yeah, I want my time back.
My favorite thing about Ewoks, real quick, was that every episode they were like, "Oh, you just missed Luke," or "Oh, Han's coming. He's coming."
Yeah, there's like one episode that has like stormtroopers in it, and that's like the only Star Wars connection. That
What?
And also the fact that they talk English and do magic, which never existed.
Every episode was
Before.
like, "You promise? Next episode? Okay."
Yeah,
And the irony is that Mark Hamill became a voice actor after Ewoks.
Right.
You know.
Love it.
Yeah. So I mean, for my final thoughts here, like, yeah, I'm giving it the old. Because, like, yeah, everything about this movie sucks. I mean, like I said, the small redeeming qualities is that cool shot where she kills the dude with her Batman wrist gauntlets. And, you know, I said there are some impressive 3D, movements in this, but all terrible. It's fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Just watch Heavy Metal, because Heavy Metal is fucking perfect. Forget about this movie ever existed. Now, apparently, according to the Wikipedia article that I read, that there was a third movie that's been in development for like forever, and apparently, Robert Rodriguez owns the rights to Heavy Metal.
Ooh.
Whoa.
He bought it back in 2014 and announced something at Comic-Con, and then that's 2014, almost 10 years ago.
Oh.
So who knows? Nothing's happened since, but currently I think Robert Rodriguez owns the rights to Heavy Metal.
And real quick, guess who has popped into the chat late in the game?
Who's in the
Miss
chat?
Nicole Matarese.
Hey,
Or Miss
Nicole.
Hey.
Mrs.
Nicole, sorry I took your spot this week.
Huh?
Nicole, have you seen Heavy Metal?
She literally has said, hey, fellas, miss you. I will not even watch Ewoks or Heavy Metal 2000 again as a goof. She wouldn't even do it as a goof. She's saying no, not even a fucking joke.
Heavy Metal, the first movie. Heavy Metal 1981 is perfection.
Yeah, amazing movie. And maybe one day we'll be able to talk about that here, when we get to see good things again. Whenever that might be.
Would have watched it.
Whenever it might be. Hang on. What the hell is going on in my
Johnson house.
Johnson.
James, you're not going to be here next week.
Yeah, so, well, first off, Kyle, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, man.
First time on the show. Fucking awesome having you on. Killer weekend we had.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Making something badass. Chili Beans, you too. Killer weekend. Thank you for coming on and filling space for the show today, man, and being a guest.
Professional face filler, that's me.
But it's great. I know this wasn't as good as Chirpy, but thank you for watching.
For
this.
every chirpy, there has to be a Heavy Metal 2000. I feel like all things balanced as they should be.
I
Like
want that
the
on my
Force.
epitaph.
To bring it back to Ewoks, like the Force.
Exactly. Right now, yeah, this is how it's been a secret Ewoks episode.
You have been talking to Lloyd Kaufman for too long. The yin and the yang, the Tao, the good and the bad together. You've been talking to Uncle Lloyd way too much.
It's scary. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and look at the mirror and I'm like, fuck! And then I think I see him. It's awful.
That smile.
But yeah, man, thank you guys for joining us. And yeah, this is also my last Toonular for the next month.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because I actually got a job. So the next month I'm going to be working on Flapjack. So shout out to Rocco.
Yeah.
You can see I Need You Dead poster here on my wall.
Over
the
there.
camera goes weird.
Not the
there
Dark
we
Knight
go.
poster.
There it is.
Further this way.
I Need
right over
You
there.
Dead.
Sorry, Kyle.
If you want to
Sorry.
review some movies for your horror podcast, this one's a good one right here.
Okay.
I Need You Dead. I mean, this poster is badass. And June Rocco's sophomore feature, which is crazy as an indie director to then make your sophomore feature indie movie.
And a
which
quite
is-
ambitious sophomore feature as well. It's really I was demoted from Flapjack to a different role. No, we talked about it a little bit today, but I have seen like the location and everything that you're going to be going to in the soundstage, and this is going to to be a really good one.
I'm pumped.
People are going to be really into it.
That is my entire August. I mean, as much as I love working on these movies, and I love working.
Sounds like you said these idiots movies.
The way that I talk weird, all right. It comes out the way it comes out. Hanging out with Dwayne all the time, but with these indie movies, now I lost my train of thought.
Real quick though, I do want to say I've seen a little bit that FX Guru from Cook Island and
RJ Young, yeah.
RJ Young, I love that man. I will take a bullet for that man. I love him.
What were you gonna say, James?
So yeah, what I was saying is that because you work on these indie movies, that becomes your life. So for the next month, that is literally it for me. So I will not be able to be on the show or watch anything on the show. And last summer I did the same thing when I worked on Cannibal Mukbang, and I gave all the reins to Nicole. This year, against my better judgment, I decided to give all the reins to the show to good old Ben Johnson here, because you always got these ideas, always want to do stuff. So you know what? You take the keys to the kingdom. You run this bitch. Just don't get us banned.
it's gonna be the worst thing ever.
This is gonna be a speed run of how quickly we can kill this channel.
So next week we're starting with Rape the Cartoon. It's a 10-part.
It's literally just the world's most infamous
My show
rape
is
animated.
I'm listening.
So what's happening next week?
You
Sean?
might-
This is terrible. Like really, it's a good thing our channel is not monetized in general. It is a very nice thing that Nicole is not physically on this call right now, because I feel like I would be getting slapped through the fucking thing.
Slaps
Assault isn't funny in it at all. Let's just put it that way. But George Carlin said there are ways that you can, maybe words are funny.
It's next
Yeah,
week,
George
Ben.
Carlin said a lot of things. Right, let's stop talking about the rape. Let's start talking about what next week.
What's happening when I'm gone? Ben?
You know what,
How is the shit being run?
James? Next week,
You've already gotten the window into that.
next week we're watching Squidbillies.
Squidbillies.
Squidbillies is a good one.
I watched bits of that show. I never watched it.
It's wild.
So, big spoiler already. The unknown Henson, the voice of Early Kyler, is he has been recently canceled for calling Dolly Parton, I think, just some broad. So
How dare he?
Yeah, you don't talk shit about
Ouch.
Dolly Parton.
We do not talk shit about Dolly Parton in
No.
this home.
no.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. Yeah, unknown got completely fucking canceled.
I say we
Yeah, it's
I say we make an example out of him.
it's gonna be crazy.
Any guests? Anybody
So
joining the show?
as of now, no, but I do have some feelers out. I'm going to be talking to some folks, so we'll see. Now for later in the month, just a teaser. I do have a couple of guests lined up for mid-month, and then right at the end, right before you get back. The one of whom, Billy Graves from Slasher Sports Media.
Oh, he had me on his show.
He's going to be joining us. And then Barry McLean Jr., the guy who did our Where Deer poster, is going to be joining us. So we're going to talk.
Oh,
Yeah, we're going to talk some comics. We're going to get some dirt on the comic book men and those four-color demons.
with all the stuff we had in Weird Deer, we just sponsored everything. We didn't put the Weird Deer poster in the movie because we didn't want to remove it from our apartment, just in case because we got the one poster.
Right.
So we didn't want to take it off and something happened to it, because we did lose some stuff apparently. But so I didn't want anything to happen to it. So sorry to that guy, but we wanted to get it in the movie, but we decided to save the poster.
You know, if I can make a quick sidebar, Ben Johnson, you do a lot of discussion about this Curse of the Weredeer movie, right?
Yes.
You're always talking about this Curse of the Weredeer movie that you directed
Yes.
and that our very good friend Jimmy Adamson wrote. When do you think the people are going to be able to watch Curse of the Weredeer? Where do you think the people are going to first be able to watch this
How can Kyle
movie?
here review it on his
How is
podcast?
Kyle going
Yeah,
to be able to
please
see it?
talk
When
to
are we
me.
going to be able to see it?
So-
I fucking love this idea.
Ben
It
Johnson.
is wonderful that you've asked that question because I do have answers to this, Mr. Chili Beans. We are having our world premiere at Troma Dance 2023 at the Beauty Bar. There in beautiful New York City. Beauty Bar in beautiful
It's free
New
admission.
York City.
Free admission, and I also think this would be probably the first year since COVID that I mean, I don't know how I would know this. There's no possible way that I would have all this kind of insider information, but I want to say it's the first year that Troma Dance is back in New York since
Bro,
COVID.
since
Is that correct?
2019. 2019 was it was the last time that Troma Dance was actually held in the city. She's coming back home, baby, where she belongs. You know what I mean? And Troma Dance is a lady. I'll tell you that much. That I know. She's a beautiful lady whose nudity
She's a lady
makes
that gives
sense.
me a headache every day.
Whose nudity makes
Not
sense.
just some.
Not just some broad, exactly.
right.
Yeah, where premiering at Troma Dance.
So for those of you at home, the Troma Dance Weredeer at Beautiful Beauty Bar on 14th Street and 3rd Avenue, September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. That is Labor Day weekend. It's going to be a ton of filmmakers from all around the world. We had 4,000 submissions that I had a bunch of people help me screen. And this is going to include on September 2nd, Saturday, September 2nd, the world premiere of Ben Johnson's Curse the Weredeer.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Say it. You'll get to find out where all these sound bites that we use until Toonular
Oh my
come
god!
from.
Listen,
Hear that in person. It's great.
Yeah, you're a Zach Amico fan, Kyle Davis. Zach
Absolutely.
Amico's got a big part in this
huge
movie.
part.
Beautiful.
Second is probably gonna be-
Yeah.
I'll
Probably
talk to
gonna
him about it. Yeah,
Bro,
awesome.
he plays the coroner. Zach came down, and I cannot tell you like how much I appreciate what Zach Amico did for us. Like the level of performance that he put up, and just really how generous he was, not only with his time but with his patience, because we had him in burn makeup. Starting at about maybe 3 p.m. one day, and we did not shoot it until about 3 a.m.
The sidebar, just real quick before because we're gonna
We
end the
have to.
show. But my favorite moment of Zach and Weredeer for me was we were shooting his car scene when he was driving, and we go back to the laundromat room. Now, for you guys who've never seen the laundromat, if you open that front door and the middle door is open and the back door is open, you can see straight down that room. So I open up the front door walking in. Zach is mid getting out of his wardrobe, and for those who can't see me, I'm standing up, pulling my pants down. He stands up, and as I'm walking in, he's pulling his pants down and sitting down, and we make eye contact like immediately on entering, and then he just smiles with a big smile and points like finger guns at me, and it was the funniest best moment.
Did he have dick piercing in at the time?
He was still in boxers or underwear or
okay,
whatever,
yeah,
but it
you
was
can
just
see the
this
whole
whole
thing.
moment of it was just the timing could have been more perfect. Yeah. So Zach's amazing. And aren't you also selling some tickets this
Man, so ahead of that, we are having an audience test screening locally in order to raise some finishing funds for our film. So if you go to curseoftheweredeer.com and you are in Gallatin, Tennessee, specifically, or if
the home song girl.
Home of Thong Girl. Yeah, it was banned. The theater that is allowing us to play there would not allow Thong Girl to play there, and I do not think they will ever let me show anything there again.
Yeah, I hope they make the Weredeer law.
Oh God, I hope. Do you know how much I hope so? But anyway, at Palace Theater, pardon me, at the Palace Theater, 8:25. If you are in Gallatin, Tennessee, you can get tickets. You can come hang out with us, and we're going to be doing a test screening of Curse of the Weredeer. And yeah, we would love to get some feedback. Any funds raised that night are going towards finishing costs for the film. But you will be seeing a complete cut of the movie. So it's not like we got more shit to shoot, because that we can't afford.
Even though we just finished filming stuff like 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
literally. Yeah. But curseoftheweredeer.com. Get a ticket, get a t-shirt. Come see us. Come hang out. Meet some of the cast and crew. Get your picture taken in front of the South Tromaville sign that I also cannot bring up to New York because I can't get that on a plane. There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's this show, guys. Thank you, Kyle, for joining us for the first time.
Absolute pleasure.
Chili Beans, thank you for stepping in and hanging out with us.
Don't ever ask me to watch Heavy Metal 2000 again. But always a pleasure.
Ben Johnson, good luck on running this ship. I hope the chat is gonna blow up for you. I hope you bring us hundreds of viewers to this channel and Spotify.
We will see what happens. We will see what happens. This ship will likely spring a leak. First week. Second week will be buckets. Third week, Nicole and I will be in a life raft, and fourth week,
Fourth week straight ghost ship.
straight up ghost ship, and then fifth week, because I looked. August is a 5-week month. You're gone.
And I'm not coming back until the first week of
Yeah,
September.
right. We've got 5 shows to fill. So you will find our dead bones on the side of some deserted island. That's what you're going to come back to.
All right. Well, John Bergio.